Good afternoon. Savva from Savva Talk Spurs here. Hope you are all well. Hope you are having a lovely day. The sun is back out. It is shining. I've had to put aircon on. Aircon. Yeah, I've got aircon in my house. How are we all? How is everybody? The season is, I want to say, 72 hours away. Just 71 hours away till kickoff. If my maths is right, 71 hours until some of us will be back at the Spurs Stadium. Some of us will be watching Gillette Soccer Saturday, Football Focus, BT Score, whatever we watch. Either way, we're going to be there. We're going to be supporting Tottenham Hotspur. The brand new 2022-2023 season is beginning, and so may it continue. So today is another session where I say to people I say to people they can come on if they like. I will put the link to the show in the chat section shortly, and then you can come on. Same rules, please respect each other, let each other speak. Please have a name. If your camera is off, you will not be being accepted into the show. Please don't outstay your welcome. Just need a few minutes from everybody, no longer than 10 minutes, especially if people want to get in. Please don't be offended if I have to remove you to let somebody else have their go. But everyone is very, very welcome. So today, the rumour mills have been going all summer. All summer the rumour mills have been going. And what have Tottenham Hotspur done? So it seems to have quietened right down. It really, really does. But are we happy? Lots and lots of talk around this subject. It's another one of these where it appears that the fan base are divided. Have we done well? Have we not? For example, I don't know if any of you follow me on Instagram. If you don't, you're more than welcome. It's just purely football. You're not going to find out anything about my personal or social life on there. I've just had somebody message me, and the question was, the person was talking to me about, have faith in Conte. I don't know about you guys, but I'm so bored hearing about having faith in Conte. It's not Conte that my issue has ever been. I don't worry about Conte. I think if Conte's given the players, I've got no doubt we'll be successful. My worry, as always, is whether or not we will get the players to be successful. This person decided to say to me, be patient, Savva. Be patient. Give it a couple of years. To which I was saying, all I hear every summer is how I've got to give it a couple of years. And I was trying to explain to this person that now is the time. This is the time to strike. Kane and Son in their peak. Romero probably going to come into his peak in the next 2-3 years. You've still got Hugo Lloris. You've got Conte, Champions League, Paratici, the stadium. What are we waiting for? This is now. This is the time to strike. Not in 2-3 years' time. His response to me was, bruh. He called me bruh. B-R-U-H. Bruh. Bruh, why don't you take your ambition and go and support another club? And that was it. That was it. Go and support another club. I mean, throughout the years, I've been told to go and support another club a million times, and yet I still keep spending my hard-earned money at Tottenham Hotspur. So it does make me laugh. What I should have said, in hindsight, my response should have been, bruh, why don't you take your lower-level ambition and go and support Stevenage or Northampton? But I didn't. Yes. So that was that. So if anyone would like to join in the show, please, when I put the link, please feel free to join. Bring up whatever point you want. Please don't join the show and just sit there. Join the show and tell me what you want to talk about. We can talk about transfers, Paratici, the stadium, Levy, the training ground if you really want to, Southampton, where we're going to finish, the World Cup, the league, the Champions League, FA Cup, new signings, outgoings, whatever you want to talk about. Whatever you want to talk about. So let's just have a quick look and see who's in the chat. Let's have a look. Sorry. Somebody was just sending me some breaking news that I already knew about Renato Sanchez joining PSG for £15 million. £15 million for Renato Sanchez. God, I would have loved that boy in our team instead of any of our midfielders, but it is what it is. So let's have a look. Let's see who is in the chat. We have got, and by the way, if any of you would like to join the Savva Spurs YouTube Fantasy Football League, please join. Here are the details. Or if you've already got the logins, just use the code 83E2MW and join. 42 of us in there at the moment. I am useless. I don't expect to finish top. I always forget to update. And then it gets to a Friday night game and I realise I've missed the opportunities and I've left 3 players in who are injured or suspended. But see if you can do better. And then the team that wins, the person that wins at the end of the year will get 2 Spurs tickets for a game next season. Not this season, the next season after. They will also get 2 Tottenham Hotspur shirts. So it's worth doing. It's free. It's free to play. If you do the Fantasy Premier League anyway, please feel free. We have got Lee from Total Spurs TV. Big up to yourself, Lee. Welcome to the chat as always. Carl Higgin is bigging up the Spurs crew. Big up to you. Simon Cohen, hello. Here's the caveman back once again with his wonderful Roy Hodgson picture. Dave Raybold, haven't seen you for a while. Hope you are well. I am looking forward to the big kickoff. Are you, Dave? Wolves F1. I've got a bone to pick with you, Mr. Wolves F1. I saw you. This is the problem. I saw you absolutely taking the piss out of me in Sean's THFC talk show. I was in the chat. I could see you. You were laughing. You were actually encouraging a fake account about me, Savva Talks Arsenal. And you said, oh, he's not doing any harm. Leave him be. Got my eye on you. I don't trust people like you. When you say fake accounts don't do any harm, trust me, they really, really do. Jordan Jansen, aircon, how the other half live. Mate, it wasn't me. It was already here when I joined. It's a kind of old school aircon system, but it's wonderful. Spurs Detective, I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good day too. Wolves F1, so maybe Spurs still need a couple of great signings. Not maybe, we definitely need more signings. Already it looks like we're about to start the season with basically the same team as last year and maybe just Perisic. We'll come to that in a minute. Luan has said, I am, one second. Yeah, never mind. Sorry. So it says, I'm sorry, Savva, mate. I won't be commenting today on the live chat because I have a fever. Well, I hope you get better soon. I really do, Luan. Hope you get better soon. Carl said a couple of years ago, doesn't Kane and Son deserve to win something before they retire? Agreed. Total Spurs Leah said we need another 2 top signings. Right, let's go. Let's have it. I agree. Here is Scott M. saying we have to be patient and surely we have to look at selling Kane and Son. At their age, they're ready to win now. Agreed. Ronan's a Liverpool fan and says, big up Savva. Kev Williams, question for you, Savva. If we sign Milenkovic and Zaniolo, will it be a good window? I think it will be a much better window than it's been already. I think Milenkovic is a no-brainer that makes our defence a lot stronger than it is with Davis and Dyer. Zaniolo is an interesting one. He's a very good footballer. He's had some injuries, as we know. Very talented, but a good age as well. Got a good bit of experience for his age. So we will we'll see on that one. So yeah, I think it would be a much better winner with those two. Elias saying it's really hot in Cyprus. Very jealous. Richard Knight, afternoon to you as well. Adam Searles, hello mate, how are you doing? He said, with all these injuries, hearing Skip and possibly Basuma, what's the odds we line up the first game is the same as last season? Are we just cursed or we don't do things properly? That's going to be my first topic in a minute when I've gone through all the messages. There's a Chelsea supporter with a Man City badge who said, yes, I don't know what to, but welcome to you. Foggy Foam, good day, Savva. Good day to you. Ben Kaufman, hello, mate. How you doing? If you have not been to Ben Kaufman's coffee shop, please go. Ben, put your details in, man. Where's your coffee shop? I don't drink coffee, but I'm hearing it's good. But I wouldn't know. I don't like coffee. Kingsley Timms has said, apparently Chelsea are going for Kyle Walker-Peters from Southampton. Yes, I saw something about that, but I think he'll probably be very far down their line. Daryl Denton has said, let's talk about how a so-called elite manager and more than once don't address 0 shots on target. Daryl, we'll talk about that. Agreed. I do keep hearing he's the world's best manager in this, but yet when we don't have a shot on target, it's never his fault. Wayne has said, if I win, I can pass on the Spurs shirts. Thank you, Wayne. Let's talk about your Leicester City team, Wayne. Let's do it. What's happening, man? Come on. You've sold Schmeichel. Maddison looks like he might be on the move. Where are your signings? What's going on, Wayne? What's happening? Spursy has said, all you need is the right fantasy tools to win, Savva. I'm sure. Let's have a look. Isa A has said, people bang on about the market being inflated, but there's good players out there. Milenkovic Savic only has 2 years. Kostic for 10 million. Milenkovic for 12.5. Mate, I agree. I don't buy into this, that there's no good players and we're just purely waiting for Bastoni and Vardy out. I just do not buy it. Freddie SP, I would not take Eric Bailly. Too many injuries from what I've seen over the years. I think when he first came in, he looked really good, but something's not worked out there. And I think now we need to stop taking risks. I think now we need to take players who are good, like really good. Yeah, Wolves FI. Look, listen, it's just that when people make fake accounts, mate, and people are going, oh, they haven't said anything bad, let them stay, they've not done anything wrong. The malicious intent behind creating an account with my name, my picture, and then Savva Talks Arsenal, that's enough to make them malicious. And those people normally start polite and then they start getting more and more abusive. So if you do see Savva Talks Arsenal, please can people stop messaging me saying, is that you, Savva? No, it's not me. Would I prefer Zaniolo or Paqueta? Paqueta, but I do like Zaniolo. I think if we're a top club, let's go and get both of these people, man. Let's go and get more than one in. Why does it always have to just be one in each position? Tommy has said, Savva, have you seen Adama's name pop up in the track? I did see it yesterday. I did laugh. The thing that will get me, Tommy, is if Spurs went to sign Adama now, these are the stock lines. Well, we wanted him in January. Conte must want him. Stock line number 2. If Conte wants him, I want him. No, we are all adults. Have your own opinion, not you, Tommy, but have your own opinions. Just because Antonio Conte wants some of these players doesn't mean I have to want them. And we don't even know if he wants them. We just know that we've signed them. In Papa Sarr, we trust. Yeah, I mean, another one looks like there's reports he might be going on loan to Milan. Another signing I didn't quite get. I'm not sure what the point of it was. SOF, hello, sir, said, I don't understand fans saying give it 2 or 3 years. Conte, Kane, Romero could all be gone in 2 years. If we finish outside the top 4, none of them will stick around. 150 million injection, spend it. Agreed, absolutely agreed. For me, that's why I don't think it's been a very good window. I think it's been a good window. As I said, it's been good, it's been decent, but this is not a Champions League window. This is not what a team in the Champions League does. But hey ho. Kane, big up Savva, big up to you as well. Just quickly, can we all smash that like button? It would be absolutely lovely if we all could. A lot of work goes into these shows. I know that some people don't believe it, but a lot of work does go into these shows. So if you could, we've only got 28 likes and there are 99 of you in the show. Please smash the like button. Please remember that any super chats, 50% does go to the British Heart Foundation. So it is for charity. Right. Jolyon has said, your channel growing represents your hard work and time. Well done, Savva. Thank you. Listen, I am on the road to 2,000. I am on the road to 2,000. I started the channel 12 and a half weeks ago. We're currently on 1,532. I'm about 500 more than I thought I would be, but I really want to get to 2,000 quickly. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. So smash that like button. Please subscribe. We're currently on 43 likes, and by the end of the show, I'd love to get to 1545 subs. So that's 13 more subs. Let's have a look. What's a caveman has said, can I make a Savva Talks Forest Green Rovers? You can indeed. You can indeed, mate. Absolutely. Good team, Forest Green Rovers. Good team. Let's have a look. Willie Caffer said, who would you swap from our main front three for Federico Chiesa realistically? Kulusevski. But look, for me, I'm not saying we'd ever get Chiesa, only because you've asked the question. You bring in players like Chiesa, you've now got loads of talent. This is what the big clubs do, loads of talent. Look at Liverpool, 5 forwards and attacking midfielders. That's how you win trophies, guys. You don't do it with just having a free and saying, oh, no one gets in. The multi-channel welcomer said, Conte into you in Italy today. We must not be presumptuous and arrogant and must not think in 7 months we have reduced a gap that has existed for a very long time in Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea. The multi-channel, I agree with you. I am not the one that thinks we can. What I'm saying is there are so many fans that keep telling me we're going to win the league or we're going to finish second. But I don't know what we've done to reduce that gap. Let's just quickly talk, before I go through a few more comments, let's talk. Is there a possibility, you guys tell me in the comments, is there a possibility that we start this weekend with only Perisic as the new signing in the 11? You've got Basuma's out injured, Richarlison suspended, Spence, he hasn't started a single game yet. I can't imagine he will in our first Premier League game. Longley, he seems to have started Sanchez over him. What do you, Forster's not going to start. What do you make of it? Will that be, for me, that would be bitterly disappointing to get to the first game of the season and there's only one new player at left wing back. That's what I mean by acting like a big club. So what do you guys make of that? Bader THSC says, Conte reportedly rejected Maddison. What do you think of that? I think that there's a lot of reports. There's a lot of reports. If he did reject Maddison, which we have no way of knowing, but if he did, I'd like to think that there's another plan. I don't want it to be, oh, well, he rejected Maddison and there's no one else. So my question to Conte would be, all right, you've rejected Maddison, if he did. Who do you want? Who do you want? It can't just be we're rejecting top players. Who do you want? Right? That's my answer to that. Kane Leg, to be fair, Conte rates the chat, but I'm not sure what that's about. Foggy Foamer said, Forest just signed 12 players, so no excuses why we should not bring in 3 more. Look, again, when I see teams like Forest and West Ham, sorry, not West Ham, but when I see teams like Forest spending more money than us, I think to myself, should that really be the case? Are we going to buy anyone else? I'm not so sure. Kane Leg, thank you so much for the donation. That does give just under £1 charity. So thank you very much for that. That's much appreciated. And everyone, please keep hitting the like button. Only 50% of you have so far. 100 of you in here and only 47 likes. Please smash that like button. It's free. It takes 1 second. I don't know, mate. I don't know who it is. Someone's just created an account called Savva Talks Arsenal. No harm done so far, but I've seen this slippery slope. Soon they'll be posting things that are very derogatory, pretending to be me, and it's not. I am going to put the StreamYard login into the chat. If anyone does want to come in, please remember the rules. For anyone who's just joined, you must have a name in the chat. You must have your camera turned on. Please don't be somewhere loud. Lots of people the other day were doing it from cars and stuff, and we couldn't really hear. If you're in a supermarket or you've got music on, please make sure it's off. And respect people. And please don't expect to stay the whole hour or however long I go for. So I'll put that. That is now in the chat. So if you did want to come on, there it is. Big up to yourself, Football Ferreira. If you don't follow Football Ferreira, please do. Great guy. Non-biased to any channel. Spurs Detective has said, I think Longley and Perisic will start and Basuma if he's not injured. Yeah, the only reason I don't think he'll start Longley, I would. The only reason I don't think he will is because he's not started him. Is he going to make his first start in the league? I mean, I hope so. But let's take it from there. The detective has said, I think Conte wants Zaniolo over Maddison. I mean, we think that we're hearing these things. I know who I prefer, but we'll take it from there. And we've got our first guest into the show, and it is the Jamaican player. How are you, sir?
Good, good, good. How are you, Savva?
I'm very well. I'm very well. What did you welcome back, and what did you want to discuss?
I don't understand these injuries, man. This. I'm glad we're getting these injuries to show us how weak and pathetic our squad is. I'm glad we're getting these injuries. I need this
Okay.
to, and we needed this to push Levy and Paratici in a corner where they had to go out there and look for options. Because it seems like they were sitting back all comfortable, putting out the sixpence. Bro, the way they announced Spence was like he was Messi or Ronaldo coming in. I was like, what? But I mean, let's hope this triggers them to go and act swiftly and do what they need to do. Because this window is, I'm telling you, man, this window is crazy. I can't even believe. I mean, Basuma, good. Perisic, good, but nothing to make us go wow. You know what I mean? When other teams, we're gonna play Southampton, and I'm telling you right now, they're gonna have a plan to shut down Kane from dropping deep or man mark him, and then what do we do when Kane is the only one who's playing through balls? You know what I mean? Where I mean Perisic, I know for sure he's a real top quality player. He'll do well, but Perisic
Okay.
alone can. Yeah,
Let me
he
open
can't.
that question up then. Let me open that question up. So first of all, welcome Simon, welcome Craig. Hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, hi, Savva.
Hello,
So,
welcome to you. Happy Wednesday, we're on, aren't we? Wednesday.
We're on
Um,
Wednesday.
we are
Yeah.
on Wednesday. Yes, we are. Guys, Simon, let me start with you. Really interesting point. I've heard a few people in WhatsApp groups I'm in actually say, are these injuries a good thing? Because again, what we've seen straight away is Skip, who, all right, young player, not the best in the world, but young player.
No.
Basuma, who was just signed, potentially both missing the game. And we're now back to the two that finished last year. And our bench is going to be what? Winks, Sarr, Ndombele maybe. Does this highlight our lack of depth, Simon?
It certainly does. Just quickly, what's wrong with Basuma then? I've just found out about it in the last few minutes. What's going on there?
a minor injury.
Well, what is it? What kind of injury has he got?
I think they're not going to risk it on Saturday.
Okay, so so he's out. Skip's out. Well, Skip wouldn't be playing anyway. But I'm looking at the squad, overall, and it doesn't really do a great deal for me at all. I'm afraid we've made no big signings. We made some okay signings. But looking at what we've got, I can't see us doing any better than we did like last season, to be perfectly honest. We've got a couple of Premiership proven players coming in. But, like you keep saying, Savva, if you want to be a big club, you've got to act like a big club. And we're not acting like a big club. Well, there's no wow factors players coming in at all at the moment. All right, we've still got to the end of August. But if we go with what we've got, we're not going to do any better than we did last season, to be perfectly honest. It's reliant on Kane and Son, the usual. Defensive still weak with people like Dyer, and we've got people like Sanchez in the background. We've got no commanding centre half. So really, looking at the team that's going to go out on Saturday, it's going to be no different to like last season. Probably what Perisic at left wing back, Longley possibly, and that'll be it. I was hoping for about 4 or 5 really top players being in that team on Saturday and think, right, okay, we've got a bloody good team here. Let's see what it's all about. But it's there's no wow factor there. I'm sorry, it's just no wow factor. Last time I got wowed was when I saw Van der Vaart turn up. Then, there's been some okay players coming in, wasting 100 million on Lo Celso and Ndombele, and they're going to be going for peanuts. We just, we haven't got, we've got a big stadium. We were supposed to be acting like a big club, but we're not getting the players in to like kick on. And Chelsea are going all out at the moment in the transfer market, so they're probably break away from us next season. So we'll probably be looking at 4th again. Okay, gives us Champions League, but I want to see Spurs close the gap on Man City and Liverpool. And with the team we've got, it's not going to happen, Savva, is it? We're well off the pace. We're well off the pace, mate.
No, listen, Simon, I agree. Listen, look, you watch my show, you know my feelings.
I do. I'm with you 100%, Savva, on this. Every time I see you, mate, I keep saying I must get on, because you talk a lot. Some people slag you off. I don't get it, but you talk a lot of sense, mate. I think like you. I just don't see where the progression is. I watch all these other channels, what a wonderful window! What a wonderful window! I said, what what are you on? I think to myself, what the hell are you
So much
thinking?
for a
What
good
kind of
June,
diet are
huh?
you on? I just don't get it. I don't get what some people think. Oh, we got this one, we got that one, but they're proven Premiership players. I want to see some people come in like Kane and Son that can really, people like that in different areas of the pitch just to kick us on.
It's Levy
Yeah,
time.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
I think look, I agree with you, Simon. I think, look, Craig, let me bring you in here. I think the difficulty that we have, right, is I get it, Craig. I get it, right? Spurs fans, no, scrap that. Football fans, we are loyal animals, right? We're loyal beasts we're tribalistic. Someone attacks our club, we all come together and convince ourselves that we're better than everyone else. This window, I'm seeing even people I'm in doing regular shows with telling me that we're definitely finishing above Liverpool and we're going to be 5 points off City and Chelsea are falling at an alarming rate. But the be all and end all, Craig, is like Simon said, have we signed anyone where you go, wow? And as I keep asking people, if we were in the Europa League or the Conference League, this is the window I would expect.
Yeah.
This is no part of this is different that we're backing Conte. What do you reckon, Craig?
No, yeah. I mean, Chelsea are showing that they're in the Champions League by signing players like Raheem Sterling, the central defender from Napoli, and people like that. Koulibaly, even Man United to some extent, a little extent, are showing that they are progressing into that they're willing to spend money. And not, I get where all the negativity is coming from Simon over here, and I'm negative.
Sorry, that's how I feel, mate. That's how I feel, really.
I'm not as negative as that. I just want to give them a couple more weeks to do what they're going to do and
that's
see if they can bring in, at least two players, at least a central defender and this creative midfielder, if that's going to be James. Yeah. People can say, "Oh, I won't pay 60 million for Maddison." Prem-proven player, and that's what they cost. Prem-proven player, £60 million. We shouldn't be bothered by that anyway, because what's our net again? What we spent net-wise on this 150 instalment as well, and we can go buy Maddison tomorrow.
Not a lot. Yeah, not a lot.
Lady Gaga, that concert, we're 18 million for net in that Lady Gaga profits. That
really? Got. Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
I think it's 9 million per night net. I think roughly that's what it is.
So I'm spent nothing.
The stadium is now an amusement park, huh?
It is
ridiculous. It should be. We should be thinking. I mean, you asked me, who am I excited by? Obviously, Basuma, I am excited by. I know his quality. I've seen it in the Premier League. I am excited by Perisic, not just for what he's going to do on the pitch, but how he might be able to influence the youngsters.
Yeah.
In Spence, Sessegnon specifically. I mean, I don't think you're a big fan of Sessegnon from memory. Or
I think he's dreadful. I don't mix my words. I think he's an awful footballer. Again, I'll tell you where I sit, Craig. Not just with Sessegnon, right? Forget my opinion on Sessegnon and my opinion on Royal. We have so many players that we big up, right? That our fans will give them years. They're going to come good. Then when we look at other clubs, we belittle players that are much better than ours. Now, I'll give you an example of that. I got told the other day on this very show that that Conor Gallagher, Conor Gallagher, well, what's he done? He's not very good. Now, Conor Gallagher, right? If he played for Tottenham, our fans would be saying he's got to be England captain. He's the best young midfielder in world football. But because he doesn't, we don't rate him. Now, my issue is, if I move this on further, Craig, is even in the chat. Now, everyone's got their difference of opinions, of course, right? But even in the chat now, there are people making excuses. Well, Liverpool don't buy big names, do they? Right? No. Listen, it's not about Liverpool buying big names. Liverpool buy proper players. Liverpool went out in one window and went, we need a world-class goalkeeper and a world-class centre-back. Bish, bash, bosh, done. And it changed them for the next 5 years. Spurs go, we need a right wing back. Oh, I know. Let's go to the Championship. Huge difference, right? Yeah. So tell me, am I harsh, Craig? And be honest.
Being honest, I see some hope in Sessegnon. I do. I've seen from some of the performances I have seen. Of course, that he's certainly not consistent. He's not easy. He's definitely injury prone, for sure. I don't like any of that. I'm curious to see what Perisic's inspiration is going to be on him, because I hear, I listen to Ali Gold a lot. I don't know if you like Ali Gold, but I can see that Perisic is obviously being an influence to the youngsters from some of the conversations that Ali is saying. And I think that can only benefit, because obviously he's a big winner, Perisic, as was, I suppose when Gareth Bale came back, did he, did he create any influence when he came back? Probably not that much, to be honest, but he didn't, but it was under a different sort of system. I didn't see any improvements in players from Gareth Bale's tenure on his return. But, maybe Perisic will be that aspect to that. I'm not impressed. I don't want to be as negative as everyone else, but I am on that road.
Is it negative though, Craig? I think the word negative is always used by fans that that can't accept that some people have a higher level of ambition. I don't think me wanting better than Longley, wanting better than Spence, wanting better than Richarlison is negative.
No, me, right. It's the wrong term of words. There's so much room for improvement in this, and especially because to me, I looked at this at the end of last season. I was like, this is a sliding doors moment here. This is sliding doors. Arsenal haven't finished top 4. We have. Now let's go and prove it. And you're right, we've not proved it in any shape, way, or form at this time, August the 3rd. We've still got a few more weeks to see if that happens. I know that's going into the classic TV time and Tottenham time.
Yeah, fair enough.
But if they get, like you said, Savva, if they sign X player or Y player or Z player, I'll be happy. I'll make it a better window.
That's right.
Okay,
it's true. I agree with that. I agree with that. We've still got time in the window, so anything can happen in the next 4 weeks. But we got to get off to a good start anyway, no matter who's playing.
Exactly.
Savva, before I go, I just want to say, I don't know. I'm not in England, so I'm not spending all the money you guys are spending to go to the games and all this stuff and paying for all the merch and stuff. I mean, I buy it over the online and stuff, but not doing the excessive investment like you guys. And I'm beyond angry, bro. I'm beyond angry at this club. So I don't know. I respect you guys for being so chill about it, but I would be real pissed if I was you guys paying all this money and watching mediocre football. But I'm telling you, man, something has to give. But anyways, have a great day, guys. It was good to be on. Keep up the good work, Savva, and we'll talk again.
Thanks, mate. Bye. Thank you for coming on. Guys, let me ask you then. So, look, I'm a big fan of getting up people's comments, things to discuss. And if anyone does want to join, I have put the link back into the post. Michael's asked a question saying, "Do some fans think Spurs are a bigger club than they are? Do we not have the pull that some fans think we have?" Now, Simon, before I let you answer this, what I always find really funny about this type of statement is, I would understand if, as a fan, I'm sitting here going, I want Haaland, I want Mbappe. I'm not talking about these players. I'm talking about James Maddison's. Right? I'm talking about players like Undikar, Milenkovic-Savic. These all play for clubs that are playing lower level than we are.
Yeah.
And we've got Conte and the stadium. Wasn't this the whole point of the stadium?
That's right. That's right. But like I said, Savva, we've still got 4 weeks. You never know what can happen from now to the end of August. We might be very, very surprised. They may pull a couple of rabbits out the hat from now to the end of August. So comes beginning of September, we might be having a different conversation. Say, wow, what a wonderful window.
For sure.
But I've always that's right. But I've always thought Spurs are a big club. I've been supporting Spurs since early 60s, and I've seen them win trophy after trophy after trophy. Spurs have always been a big club. They've got everything. They've got everything there. They've got the stadium. They've got the manager. They've got a couple of superstars in Kane and Son. I just want to see Spurs go out and get players on that level, just to push us to the next level, and we can perhaps go for the league. have a good run in the European Cup, and who knows? But this is our season to go out and do something big, especially with Conte there, because we don't do nothing this season. There's a strong possibility Kane and Son think, right, okay, we gave it another go. We didn't win nothing. I think it's time to get up and go. And Conte may get a bit itchy as well throughout the season, depending how we're doing. But I just want to see Spurs go out and back Conte with a couple of 2 or 3 really top players, just to say, right, we're going to go for it this season. Because I think this is our biggest chance in a long time to do something big. But will they go out and do it in this window just to push us to the next level and even if we can get near Liverpool and Man City by what 10, 12 points, miss out on the league by 10 or 12 points, and maybe pick up a cup. I'll take that. But looking at what we've got now, I can't see us doing any better than 4th, and perhaps having a couple of cup runs, maybe get through to the last 16 of the European Cup and getting knocked out. That's what I'm saying. I want to see a few top players come in, especially a top centre half, a commanding centre half, and someone who can head a ball. Because we give some stupid goals away week in and week out, and it's going to happen again this season with Dyer. The only decent centre back we got is Romero, but also he can't head a ball, so we're very weak.
We're very easy for set pieces. Teams like to play against us.
That's right, and it's going to happen again this season. Sav, we're going to, Dyer's going to be turning his back. Okay, Romero's a very good defender. We've still got issues down at right back. Left back, I'm not so worried about. Got no creativity in the midfield. So what's going to happen, when teams come to our
you're forgetting we've got Emerson Royale, so that's the
right hand. Blimey, please, come on. But there's players out there that can really improve, especially at right back, and get a top centre half. And we don't have to spend 70, 80 million. There's players out there that centre half and get for 30, 35 million. You can do better than Dyer. You can at least head a ball.
Let me
just a commanding figure at the back.
Sorry. Just quickly before we move on. Everyone, please do hit that like button. There's 185 of you in the show and only 75 likes. Yeah. Smash that like button. It means nothing for you, but it really does help me.
Sorry, Savva, just quickly. If we haven't got a decent defence, we're going to win nothing.
And I hear you. Let me quickly go through. We'll talk about the defence in a minute, Simon. One sec. Willie Caffer said it's not always about star players. Willie, no one's ever mentioned star players. I keep hearing this buying the right player that fits Conte. I love Conte, but some of you are talking about him like he is Jesus Christ. This man has always, when I keep hearing he's won trophies with clubs that had better footballers than he has at Tottenham Hotspur. Aaron Quinn has said Conte has got the players that he wants, not what I want, not what you want. Aaron, you have no way of knowing that in any way, shape or form. I fail to believe, Aaron, that Antonio Conte went in and these were the 6 players he planted down on Levy and Paratici's desk. Yan071 has said being a big club means nothing. Noah, on what evidence is Ryan Sessegnon good going forward? I've never seen him beat a man. He can't cross a football. He can't pass 5 yards and looks like a rabbit in headlights. Sorry. Ismaila has said, Maddison is shit savage. I think that's meant to say Savva. Maddison is shit Savva. Can't play in the Premier League. Dyer is better man player. Right. James Maddison, in an injury hit Leicester, got 20 goals and assists combined. He's English. He's creative. He's brilliant with set pieces. He is what we need. Daniel Levy's in the chat. Hello, Daniel Levy. You horrible, horrible man. Savva, I've made 6 very good signings. Stop slagging my integrity. I am back in Antonio. Let me ask you, Craig. Simon's brought up the point there about the defence. It feels like to me that what happened at the back end of last season with us defending well for like the last 10, 15 games has kind of put a plaster over where surgery is needed. And now because the blood isn't flowing as much, all of a sudden fans think, oh, we don't need another centre-back because Davis did well and Dyer did well. But if we're talking about progressing, Craig, if we're talking about taking the club from here to here, surely we need better than those 2 in the 11, don't we?
Yeah, but we've got to wait until next year to get those better players, remember?
There's players out there you can get. There's players out there you can get now. You have to wait till next year. There are players out. If you look around and scouting people should be out there looking. There must be better players out there that we can get for a reasonable price that are better than what we got, i.e., Dyer and Sanchez and Davis or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, even someone like I don't know, someone who's not a regular starter at City. I'd even take Nathan Ake potentially in the team.
Nathan Ake, I'll take that. I'll take Nathan Ake. I think he could do a decent job.
Exactly, and
I'd rather have him than Sanchez in the team.
Yeah, there's an overriding problem because I don't think anyone's really got much faith in Eric Dyer, despite the.
No, I've got nothing.
At the club.
I just don't see. Everybody keeps going on about Dyer. Yeah, he's a nice boy. He's never in trouble. Blah 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 blah. And they're thinking about giving him a new contract. I've seen. I said, really? They're going to think about giving Dyer. He's a squad player. Somebody you leave on the bench if needed. You can get him on for the last 15, 20 minutes if you need. Just to shore up the defence a little bit or whatever. We're winning by 1-0 or something. But as a starter, Eric Dyer, please no. You want to be you've got to get someone better than Dyer as commanding centre half.
Just quickly, Aaron Quinn. I'm not saying he didn't want any of them. I'm not saying he didn't want any of them. My point is, fans like you will tell me, and I'm not disagreeing, but fans like you will tell me that Antonio Conte is one of the best managers in the world, that he's not come here for fourth, he's come here to win things. But then you're going to tell me that his wish list in this window was Richarlison, Longley, Spence, Fraser Forster, no attacking midfielder, no new centre-back. Something doesn't ring true. My question, Craig, to you is, if Arsenal, sorry, I know I said the word, if Arsenal had the window we'd had, what would our fans be saying about this window? If they had signed Richarlison, would it be, oh, that guy from Everton, oh, the 33-year-old from Italy, he'll never handle it over here. What, Basuma from Brighton, a right back from the Championship? What?
I don't know. I'm trying to mirror it now. I'm trying to work it out. I'm trying to work it out. I think it depends on who we would have signed on the other side. I suppose it's hard for me to say, because I would look at Richarlison. I don't know. I don't trust Richarlison. But if they sign Perisic, I'd be like, that's decent. That's a good guy to have in their squad. Going through it, I think we'd still be as a fan base, we'd be envious. Like, I'm a little envious that they've signed Jesus, because I think he could do a job for Tottenham. I think he's got something.
But he didn't want to come to us because Kane was in the way.
Oh, we hear that all the time.
I don't believe that. He can play.
I know that. But that's all I kept reading about. He didn't want to come because Kane was there. Like a lot of these forwards.
Because this whole.
I would have taken, if I could. I would have got.
Every game is rubbish.
I would have got Jesus in. He would have been, he could have got you 12, 15 goals, in the league or whatever.
He's got a bit of spice to him. You feel like he can come in, he can make an impact straight away. Listen, it's only pre-season, and he scored umpteen goals in pre-season, which is great. Wonderful. Will he do it on Friday night against at Palace away? We don't know. We're here to find out. Will Richarlison do it on a consistent basis? I think.
One second. Michael, welcome to the show. Mike, sorry, welcome to the show. Just before I ask Mike a question, Stephen, I brought this up because I want to answer this. But I really like your channel, Savva, so thank you for that. I like it as well. He said, but it does seem to attract some people with daft opinions. Look, the thing is about opinions, Stephen, is everyone's got one, right? And everyone says, oh, everyone's entitled to one. Some opinions are just stupid. But the problem is there are a couple of Tottenham YouTube channels where everything is rosy all the time. And they don't want debate. They just want to say, this is great. We've signed 6 players. We've won the transfer market. We're closing the gap. And unfortunately, listen, I want a mix. I want people with conscience, because otherwise we have nothing to talk about. So, Mike, let me bring you in on this. Tottenham Hotspur, have they done enough for you, Mike, this window to suggest that there's going to be any sort of gap closed to the top 2?
In short, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear, my man.
So in short, no.
Brilliant.
So but here's the thing. Like, what are the expectations of Spurs?
Right.
What do you guys expect? Because teams have won silverware with less than what we have.
Who? Can you give me an example?
Arsenal won the FA Cup with less than what we had, didn't make Champions League. Leicester won the FA Cup with less than what we had, also didn't make the Champions League. So you guys have to quantitatively think, how much are these squads worth? What does it actually take to win in this league? What are your expectations of winning with the squad? What was your expectations of 150 mil, the 150 mil that everybody's talking about? I hate to say it, but the squad wasn't going to be revamped in one window. It wasn't. We have
I get that.
There are 4 or 5 players you guys have to sell. Lo Celso and Ndombele, Rodin, Tanganga, one of Emerson or Reguilon. Like, that's 6 players right there. And none of them are English. Spurs have a real English homegrown problem. So you guys have to I would love to bring in Milinkovic-Savic. I would have loved to bring in Kim, who went to Napoli. I would have loved to bring in any one of these players. Spurs have a real homegrown problem. Like, they do. And they're not getting the outgoings that they need to bring in. It's just not happening. So you guys tell me how. Like,
Mike, can I answer that then? So, okay, I get it, that the whole homegrown thing. I completely get. My question to you is then, and I don't think anyone with any real sense thinks that we're going to be revamped in one window. But for me, it's not about revamping the whole squad in one window. It's about, have we done enough to improve it considerably with what we have done? So we've signed 6 players. Are they the best 6 players in those positions that a Champions League club with the best stadium in the world, this cash injection, which appears to be a myth, with one of the best managers in the world, are they the best 6 players, Mike, we could have got in each position?
I don't think that's the right question, because I think if you look at a lot of approaches, teams that make a lot of signings in a short amount of time, most of those signings don't pan out. Look at the Chelsea window, where they signed Kepa, Werner, Pulisic, Havertz. They signed Lukaku. Like, all these players in a very short amount of time, all of them didn't pan out.
Mike,
they won the Champions League. They won the Champions League.
I'm just saying, like, how many of those players do they already want to offload? You have to think maybe 1 or 2 players every window stays or strengthens in a squad. Manchester City has nobody left except De Bruyne from the original team.
Of course, but Mike, the thing is, when people use Chelsea as a benchmark, when people use Liverpool as a benchmark and City as a benchmark, these are clubs that, if they don't get it right with every single signing, it doesn't matter, because their squad is so good that even with, like, some people will say Werner's been a flop and Havertz has been a flop, those 2 have helped Chelsea to win trophies. One of them scored the winning goal in a Champions League final. So Spurs, for me, the point was, I know you wanted to change my question, but my question to you, Mike, was Spence at right wing back. Are you telling me Tottenham Hotspur couldn't have gone out and bought a better right wing back than a guy from the Championship with no experience? Now, Mike, before you answer that, forget if he could be the next Cafu. I'm talking about right now. Does that scream to you ambition in any way, shape, or form?
So I'm going to answer your first question, get to the second question. All right. So if our goal is to compare ourselves to Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester City and have those ambitions, then we also have to give ourselves the same amount of time that they've given, because City and Liverpool were built over 4 or 5 years and many windows. Okay. So if you're going to compare the results, you also have to take care of the same process. All right. Because the 2 aren't the same. You can't just spend money in one summer and expect everything to change. It's just not how it works.
But Mike, Mike, it's not one summer, is it? This is what I don't get. This has not been one summer. This has been an accumulation of years and years and years and years and years. And I know what I know your response is going to be, well, Conte's just joined. My response, I can already predict the conversation. My response to anyone with those sort of responses is, we have Kane and Son at the peak of their powers at the same time now. We have Romero now, who in a year or 2 years will be one of the best centre-backs in the world and won't want to be here, right?
Yeah.
We have Conte now, right? We have Champions League now, right? This time next year, touch wood, listen, I'm just playing devil's advocate before everyone in the chat shouts at me and thinks I'm saying this. If Spurs get 5th this year and Conte walks, Kane and Son don't want to be here, Romero's going, hang on, I could go and play for Madrid, Bayern Munich, Juventus, right? What good would have all this, oh, well, we've got to trust the process, we've got to take time.
That's right. It's now or never. It's now or never, Mike. It's now or never.
Got that afforded to us, have we?
It's now or never. I'm sorry. It's now or never. This is our biggest chance for a hell of a long time.
Let's circle the wagons back to the original questions. So, yes, in order to bring people in, we have to get people out.
Why?
Because we have a homegrown quota problem. We are at the limit.
So why weren't, of the 6 players we've already brought in then, if the homegrown quota was a problem, why did we not go and get Maddison? Why did we not go and buy Guehi? Why is nearly
serious business people who run this club, or supposedly, or should have the sense to forecast this?
Right.
They should know this already. You know,
why are the 6 players we brought in? Yeah, why are only 2 of them English?
This is club's fault, right? That there is a shortage of homegrown quota. That's club's fault.
Of course,
it has happened over the years. It has not happened because of 1 or 2 windows. It has happened because of poor recruitments in the last 5-6 years. That's why.
No, I get that. You're right on that one. You're right on that one.
What's the senior leadership team doing at Spurs where they're not going, oh yeah, we've got to sell on Ndombele and the Chelsea because the homegrown car. This should have been taken care of in April, March, even. This should be a thing that we're dealing with. This is August the 3rd. The season starts on Saturday. This shouldn't be an issue. I can't believe it is an issue. Or should be a problem.
It's a big issue.
Yeah, no, but it shouldn't be something that they're dealing with now. That should be dealt with a long time ago. This whole homegrown thing is a probably load of rubbish. It's just another excuse for not bringing the whatever that Levy still has his hands on this, doesn't he?
Oh, of course he does. He's still pulling the strings. He's still pulling the strings, Levy.
The chief executive's come in to assist Paratici. I've forgotten his name.
Let me welcome Lee and Aditya to the channel. Hello, lads.
How you doing? All right.
Hope you are well. Lee, I'm going to come to you firstly. Savva, we all can say Conte is a world-class or elite manager, but even Conte is being realistic, and he knows first we have to use the transfer budget to strengthen the first team and later higher price. Now, Lee, again, you know me, I like to take a sentence and rip it into pieces. I've got so many issues with this. First and foremost, all of these types of fans were the types of fans telling me that Conte wasn't here for fourth, he was here to win. Now, all of a sudden that we've had this window which hasn't been amazing, it's, oh, well, Conte knows it's a process. That's not what Conte said, right? No. Second of all, the question to you, Lee, is have we strengthened the first 11 and how? And has it been a considerable strengthen to the first 11?
Considerable, no. For me personally, no, it hasn't. Have we strengthened? Yes, we have. Have we improved? We have in certain areas, but not key. For me, not key areas. Mm-hmm. All right, yes, people will say we've addressed the left wing back with Langley and Perisic falling in or whatever, and we've got Basuma in the centre. But were they really our first targets? No. Again, it's making do, and it pisses me off.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Making do.
I'm sorry. I'm going to keep saying that. People know it's making do. We always make do. We never do. We make do, and we've been doing it for years.
They won't push the boat out. They never push the boat out, Spurs, do they? Never
And they
take
know
a
it's a
massive-
vital year, and they know
They
it's a
won't push-
vital year.
That's right, but they're not pushing the boat out, are they, for what they really need?
Okay, so Aditya, let me bring you in here. Welcome to the show for the first time, and I know we're always going to disagree on the word.
Thank you for having me.
On the word. No, you're welcome. We're always going to disagree on the word baller, Aditya. We are. I just can't bring myself to say it. If I am, I'm going to say people like Ronaldinho were ballers, not people like Oliver Skip. Just saying. Hashtag just saying. Aditya, talk to me then. Look, it's a good. There's lots of different ways of looking at this window. Where do you sit with it in terms of, are we missing a golden opportunity where for years the excuse was when the stadium's done, then it was when we get the manager, then it's we need Champions League. All of those stars have aligned, Aditya. We've got all of that now. We were told about a cash injection, and yet the players we're buying are okay, but apparently the world-class manager, this was his wish list. Where are you with all of this?
Yeah, so like whatever your question is, my answer will correlate with what I'll just respond to Mike on his comparison with Liverpool. That Liverpool took time to start to win trophies with Klopp. That's why we need to give Conte time. No, they did not take time. They won the league title. They won the Champions League in their second full season, right? And they won that when Klopp came to Liverpool. They did not have world-class players like Kane and Son. They did not have a top defender like Romero. They had Sakho, Lovren, all these players they had. They did not have world-class players. So Spurs have already got world-class players. And on top of that, Liverpool won the Champions League in their second full season. Then they won the Premier League title in their third full season. So they did not take enough time actually. So they actually did it quite instantly. So that is my response to Mike over his comments about Liverpool. Coming back to your question.
Yep.
Like this thing I realized 10 years back, like the ambition of the board, it's actually to create a profitable business model. It's not actually to win trophies and be successful. And I think like there have been some changes, to be fair, like Kulusevski and Bentancur have been good signings. I think Basuma and Perisic have been good signings. So there have been improvements. But I just don't think there has been enough change in the intentions of the club, especially from the board and Daniel Levy. I don't think there is. I personally think he got Conte because fans were really turning on Daniel Levy and he wanted some damage control policy.
He wanted brownie points back.
Yeah, exactly. Just like he did with Mourinho, and then he came up with All or Nothing documentary. And then he said, we finally have appointed a manager who is known for winning trophies. He wins trophies with every single club. But then he ended up not winning any trophies.
Before a cup final. Exactly.
Exactly. So whatever you have said is absolutely spot on.
Says
and
it all.
Even the cash, yeah, exactly. And this cash injection thing, I don't understand. People say that we have, like, if you consider just this transfer window, I think our net spend is around £55 million without add-ons, right? Because add-ons have not been triggered. So around £50 million have been spent. And some people are also saying, including ITKs, that we also spent around 30 or 40 for either Kulusevski or Bentancur to complete their loan signing into permanent signing, right? So now left is £60 million, and we are going to spend on one or two more players, maybe a centre back or maybe a creative mid, right?
Well,
even if this is done,
hopefully those two. Yeah. Hopefully, we need them two, not maybe. Yeah. We definitely need a centre back and somebody in midfield.
Exactly.
Seriously, I can't put up with Dyer and Sanchez as a backup at the back. It's not good. It's not good enough.
This is not the thing. Like, why do we only have £60 million? Where is the money from NFL games? Where is the money from concerts? Where is the money from Lady Gaga? Where is the money from match day revenues? Where is the money from hospitality prices? £5,000 per ticket, £7,500 per ticket.
Guys, please. One of you at a time, please, because one of you at a time. Let me move the narrative forward. Mike, let me bring you back in here, my friend. Would it be fair if I was to say to you that the worry from some fans' point of view is that now is the time to strike, and that we might not this time next year without Champions League have Kane, Son, and Conte. Can you understand that narrative that those two are not young? I mean, Kane's turned 29 last month. Son's 30. How many years can we go with this process saying, give them time, give them time, give them time? Because I've heard that every summer for like the last 15, 20 years. So can you understand that narrative, Mike?
It's easy to, so let's break each problem individually. All right.
Yep.
I understand that you guys want an overhaul and we want it now because the window is short. It's not like I don't understand that.
That's not what I said, though. That's not what I said.
I
don't want an overhaul, Mike.
Not overhaul, just improvement in the team.
I don't want an overhaul, Mike. My point is that if you are going to bring in 6 players, 7 players, why bring in only 1 or 2 that actually go straight into the first team and you're just buying yet more squad players rather than going to get Champions League quality players, Mike?
Savva, that's what big clubs do. Not everybody's going to instantly go in the starting 11.
But the thing is,
Diogo Jota would be considered a squad player for Liverpool. They bought him.
What about Van Dijk? What about Alisson?
No, I understand. What I'm saying is,
Salah, Mane, Keita.
70 million on a goalkeeper. No, Liverpool spent 70 million on a goalkeeper and 70 million on a center back. Spurs will never do that, except from Bastoni.
They should do that. That's the problem, bro.
Exactly, we should have done, but yet we spend 60
because
million
we
on
have more revenues than Liverpool when it comes to match day. Our stadium debt is covered by our food and drink stuffs outside and inside the stadium. 25 million pounds around.
Guys,
the stadium is not a problem.
The difference for me is when I hear fans talking about what Liverpool and City and Chelsea are doing with their squad, they've got that first 11, right? So Liverpool went out and went, right, what do we need in the first 11? They built an 11, then they started building a squad. What we're doing is we're just adding one. I mean, realistically, who's come in this window that has immediately made us 10 times better? Perisic?
I'll take him. I'll take Perisic. Yeah, Perisic would be fine.
Might fill that gap a little bit. But as Total Spurs TV lead mentioned, not in the areas that are essential.
Right. So Basuma's a good player, right? But essentially, he's still very similar to the players we had in there before. He hasn't added a new dynamic in terms of goals, creativity, playmaking.
To be seen, he might turn out to be a Dembele or something.
But Craig, this is what we do with every player. It's not remain to be seen. Look at him as a player. He's never been a creative force. He's not a goal scorer.
No.
Someone put his heat map up earlier from his Premier League games. He is the box-to-box midfielder, but there's no creativity. He hardly ever scores a goal. This is the point. Who have we bought where we've gone?
Savva, who were the 2 midfielders in Inter Milan's team when Conte was managing them?
Sorry, say that again.
Were they Brozovic and Barella?
They had Brozovic, Barella, Eriksson. But they also had
in the starting
wing-backs.
11. The starting 11.
Yeah, so it depends what formation. He went 3-4-3 or 3-4-1-2, and he'd play Barella and Brozovic in the middle, Eriksson at times behind Lautaro Martinez and Lukaku. But with Hakimi, this is the thing. When people compare our teams,
but both of them are creative. People say he doesn't need creative midfielders. Yeah, Brozovic is a creative player. Barella is a creative player, isn't it?
Yeah, but they had better wing backs than what we've got.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Conte had an initial better team.
Yeah, better wing backs than what we've got.
Hakimi and Perisic, right?
Well, Hakimi's better than what we got at right back now, isn't he?
Easily.
That's the kind of player we need at right back.
Like we will become title challengers if we get Hakimi. Like one player will make us title challengers easily. I don't think we will win the league title with
on a right back. They will not spend 60 million on a right back, will they, Tom?
Yeah.
And that's my point, though, Simon, as well.
Yeah.
They
won't do it. They've gone for the cheap option.
The thing is, though, we're willing to spend the 60 million on a player like Richarlison for backup.
I would have preferred to spend that on a centre half.
Why didn't we go to a centre half and go, there you go, 60 million, bang.
They could have.
Why didn't we do that? I don't. All right,
guys, you've got to go one at a time, please. It's driving me crazy. One at a time, please.
Sorry, Savva. Sorry, mate. I'm going to shoot off. I'm going to have my tea in a minute. So thanks once again
for
having you on, having me on your show.
Thanks for having us up.
All right,
nice to meet you, Simon, bro. Nice to meet you.
Thanks, Savva. You take care. Cheers, boys. Bye bye.
Cheers.
So, Lee.
Yeah.
Lee, let me start with you. I think that's the key thing I can't understand is, first of all, our kind of marquee signing is a player that's not really very marquee at all.
No.
And in a position where we were already very, 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 very strong, if not the best front three in the league.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'm not advocating, Lee, that we don't go and buy more competition for them, because I think it's about squad depth.
Yeah, sure.
But surely the 60 million spent there was for a right back, a centre back of quality, and then you buy a young forward to do you not? I don't get it.
No, mate, I totally agree, and I'm sure lots of people agree with it. But the thing, why do we as a club do things arse upwards? We never. I've been supporting them since 91, 92, right? All right, and apart from the Klinsmann and the Van der Vaarts and them sort of key players, we never seem to address the situation. What we need for like now, we know the key areas we need. I don't understand it. I don't know why build arse upwards when we need to start at the back, and that is our weakest point ever. That's the weakest. I'm sorry, Dyer, David, they're still not good enough for what we need. They're good squad players, but we're making do again. It's just, it baffles me. It really does.
So I have a question for you guys, like a legitimate question. So who are the right backs for 60 million that we're going to get that would come to Spurs?
Hakimi.
But
did you know?
It's the offer, though, isn't it? It's the actual going towards them, going, there you go.
Sell the project.
About this?
Didn't Newcastle get Bruno Guimaraes? If a relegation fighting team get Bruno Guimaraes, no, I'm talking about the quality of play. Hakimi. Yeah.
He's not coming to Spurs.
Let's
Why not?
Let's forget Hakimi for 1 minute.
Inter Milan, PSG, and then the Spurs, bro. No.
Okay, let's.
You have to sell the project.
Hang on, Aditya. Let's forget Hakimi for 1 second. Hakimi's the dream, right? He is the best right wing back attacking player, best attacking right wing back in football, in my opinion. The problem for me is, first of all, not all of the 60 million I'm talking about there would have had to have gone on a right wing back. But there are players in this window that have moved that are 10 times better than Jed Spence, right? You've got Molina, who plays on the right side next to Romero for Argentina, has moved from Udinese to Atletico Madrid. Why was Spurs not in for him? You've got Mukiel, who's gone to play as a kind of backup to Hakimi at PSG. You've got players like Di Lorenzo in the market, Maley in the market, Singo, Hatboer. But we decided that it was a bloke from the Championship that was that was our first choice, whilst buying £60 million worth of 13 goals a season's his best year in the Premier League as our marquee, unless we go and spend more than that on a player, which I don't think we will. Does that answer it, Mike?
So, I mean, we both talk about squad depth and we think it's important, right? So,
yeah.
Liverpool went and bought, so they already had a front three of Mane, Firmino, and Salah. They went and got Jota, right?
Yep.
They went and got Nunez, and they went and got who's that other winger? Colombia.
Luis Diaz.
They went and got 3 more wingers. They already had a front three. Bro, that's what big teams do. Like you have to spend the money on the forwards to get goals. Like that's how it works.
Mike,
we don't lack that though, do we?
Mike, they've done that because the rest of their squad is in place. That you look at Liverpool's squad. Yeah, their back four is brilliant. They've even in the background after that, they've got players like Joe Gomez, Konate in behind. They've got 9 central midfielders. 9 central midfielders. They've bought Fabio Carvalho as a young, exciting attacking midfielder. And they've then got 5 very, very, very good forwards who have all won stuff. Spurs have got the good front three. Sorry, I'm underplaying it. We've got the world-class front three, right? But we're poor at right wing back. We're poor at centre back. We're poor with creativity. Why have we not addressed that as a burning issue rather than going to buy, let's be fair, Forster backup, Longley on loan? I mean, is he going to start him? Spence didn't even get a minute against Roma and is one for the future. Richarlison, he's not better than any of the other three. What are we doing, Mike? What's the plan?
The plan is you still have to get people out to bring them in.
I don't buy it. Why?
Why? Because, again, like I mentioned, the homegrown quota. If you're going to tell these people that they're going to play in the Champions League and you already submit a roster that doesn't have enough homegrown people on it, that's not an attractive proposition to bring in players. You still have to offload, like I said, Reguilon, Lo Celso, and Belli. We just offloaded Rodon. We just have to get either one of Emerson or Doherty off the books. Like that's 5 or 6 players who aren't English who Spurs have to move before they have to bring in more people, or they're not going to play the Champions League.
So you're telling me though.
And what I'm saying is you can't fix all this in one window because people have to leave.
But we haven't fixed hardly any of it. We've bought 6 of the 6 players we've bought in, right? The 2 English players we bought in won't really play or Spence's for the future. The other 4 were all foreign. So if like you're saying, Spurs were really trying to address our homegrown quota, why wasn't a Maddison a priority? Why wasn't an English centre-back a priority?
So there's only one centre-back that I know that was worth getting. There was only one English centre-back that I know that was worth getting. That was what, Gay? On Palace, right?
For Palace, yeah.
But that's it. That's the only. If we're gonna hold the standard to improving this starting 11, the only one that you're gonna get is Gay, and that's it. Like I think, Davies and Gay are.
But that can't be said for every position on the pitch, Mike. It can't be. I'm sorry, you can't bring in 6 players, of which only 2 are definite starters in the 11, right?
That's a great window for even Manchester City or Liverpool or Chelsea. 2 players on the starting 11 is a good window. Like I don't know what your standards are for a good window.
But listen, Mike, when we use Liverpool and Man City as a barometer, we're talking about look at Liverpool. Liverpool this window lost 1 forward, bring 1 forward in. That's all they need to do. Yeah. Man City and Liverpool don't go out and buy 6 players in one window because they've got the squad. So they can bring in a player like Fabio Carvalho. They can bring him in knowing no pressure on him. No pressure. Ease him in gently. Spurs aren't in that position. Spurs are in the position where we have to improve the 11. We have to improve the 11. And all I see, no offense, Mike, I see fan after fan after fan telling me Conte's here, we're challenging, we're doing this, and then praising mediocre transfer windows. My question to you, Mike, could we have had this transfer window if we didn't get Champions League football?
No, not even then.
Why? Who have we bought?
Because the players wouldn't.
Who?
Perisic would not come without Champions League. Bissouma would not come without Champions League. That's
how
the 2
how
that
do we
would
know? Bissouma's playing for Brighton, a mid-table team.
And then the rest of the players, maybe. I don't think so. Do you think they're going to come to a 5th place team with no Champions League?
Mike, your volume's cutting out, Mike. Mike, can you hear us?
I think he froze, no?
No, Mike, can you hear me?
No, I think his mic's gone.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, you can. Okay. but okay, but just before I move on, last question to you, Mike. So honestly, this is what Spurs fans are now resorting to telling me, is that Bissouma from Brighton wouldn't have been achievable if we were in the Europa League, not the Champions League. Richarlison from Everton wouldn't have been achievable if we were in the Europa League. Forster, Spence, Longley. I'm sorry. What part of none of these players, other than Perisic, are experienced Champions League footballers? Why would they have not come to Tottenham if we weren't in the Champions League?
Because they would have picked another club that would have made top four, like Arsenal or United, that would have paid them more money, or might have been in the Champions League.
So you consider this a Champions League window? You think this has been a good Champions League window?
I think Spurs make it out of the groups, and then if we make it out of top 8, it's a coin flip. Okay, I think Spurs are top 8-16 team in Europe. I think that's the level. Okay, so if we're gonna go based off that, if you improve your top starting 11 by 2 players.
Just quickly, Mike. Sorry, could everyone please do me a favor and report this person on the screen right now? Please report. I will block, but please report. Please. This is not me. And if you think it's me, look, I'm here. I'm not in the chat. I'm here. Sorry, Mike. Carry on.
Anytime you improve your starting 11 by 2 players, that's a good window, and you didn't even spend it all yet. Then the window's not even over yet. I think there's still a lot of moving pieces that have to be done. Players have to come out for them to come in. I think when Lo Celso and Ndombele move out, I think Spurs will jump on somebody else. And as we've seen in the window, when Spurs want somebody, they're going to go get them.
Okay, just quickly, I'm going to come to you, Aditya, in a second. Willie Caff, no, Savva doesn't want all first-team fixed in one season. Savva believed, I don't know why I'm talking about myself in third person, but Savva already believed we had the goalkeeper. We've got one centre-half. We had a decent centre-mid and 3 very good forwards. So, no, all Savva wanted was 2 wing-backs, a centre-back, and a creative midfielder. I didn't even say we need 6. I just thought we needed 4 that went straight into the first team, Willie Caff. So, please do not put words into my mouth.
I mean, I thought that was just initially what any team would do anyway, is you build the foundation so at least you're competitive for the season, competitive for whatever competitions you're going into, and then you add around that. As long as you've got that strong core of players, surely that must be the barometer for where we start off from. But at the moment, and Mike's right, we have, there are some good players there. We have got, I'm not completely slating them, but I just think for what exactly, yeah. But I just think for what we're trying to achieve.
Skamaka, West Ham.
Yeah,
top
Kostic,
Italian young
he's
striker.
not going to West Ham now, but Kostic, 12 to 15 million. Perfect example right there. We could afford that. He'd come to Spurs, but why haven't we approached him? He's got to be better than what we've got.
So
right.
Coutinho, Aston Villa
plays left back, right? So there's already a logjam at left back when you have Perisic, you have Sessegnon, you have Regulon. Kostic is never going.
But forget Regulon.
Camacho,
if we had Kostic and Perisic
from West Ham, he's not going to come to Spurs because he's not going to start. He's not going to start over Kane.
No. I'm not saying we should have gone for him. I'm just giving an example that really good players go to non-Champions League clubs. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. I'm not saying I want him at Dortmund.
Bring them up. You have to bring them into context. You have to bring them. Are they English? Are they going to improve our starting 11? Are they going to? Are they worth the price?
Okay, but
Madison?
so James Madison.
He's English. Tariq Lamptey. He's homegrown. Right wing back slots in straight away.
So Tariq Lamptey is a funny thing because I think Tariq Lamptey, the system made him better. I think Brighton having a lot of possession made him better. I think him playing on the wing where he's isolated and gets a lot of 1v1s made him better. When he's a straight left back, he wasn't very good. A right back, he wasn't very good. I think Tariq Lamptey is a very good player. He's a young player, but he's not physical. Every player Conte signed is 180. He's 180 centimeter plus. Big body physical players. Like he didn't sign small guys.
I hear this.
That's a fair point.
I hear no. This is not a fair point.
The size thing is fair, isn't it?
Let's have a look at Antonio Conte's history as a manager. I hear this all the time. I hear things like Conte doesn't like creative players, right? Yet in his title-winning teams, he has had
Andrea Pirlo.
He's had Brozovic, Barella, Eriksson, Hakimi, Pirlo, Pogba, Fabregas, Hazard. He's had so many creative footballers. And most of those I just named, other than maybe Pogba, are all about my height. And I'm 5'10".
Pedro as well. Pedro.
There's loads of them. Let's move on from the window question. Just quickly, Faz, I mean, you're desperate to, aren't you, to recreate the conversation from the other day about Cucurella. Savva, would you sign Cucurella for Spurs? Absolutely, I would. It's a no-brainer. I think you rate him because Chelsea wants him. You can think what you want, but you're not me. If you watch my show every week, you know from the beginning of the window I said that's a good player. Has he played Champions League? No. What's that got to do with anything? Could we not sign him if we were not in the Champions League? What? Faz, I've no idea what you're saying. Lee, let me come to you, mate. We're what? We're 70 odd hours away from the season starting.
Yep.
It looks like, with Basuma not fit apparently, it looks like the only possible new signings that will start will be Perisic on the left and maybe Longley, but even then I'm not sold on that because he still keeps starting Sanchez above him in pre-season. As a Spurs fan, how disappointed are you if we start the season with basically the same 11 after the big PR hype of we've got a cash injection and we're backing Conte and he's not here to be fourth?
It would be disappointing, of course. But I think I read a report from Conte or an interview or something he wrote or was said. He'll obviously pick the players that are fit. And I think Langley falls under that. Basuma wouldn't even start anyway, apparently, because of the fitness levels at the moment. Of course, I'm disappointed. I'd be more disappointed if we didn't have Bentancur and Højbjerg to fall back on. I think they're going to be our major pairing anyway. But yeah, I did expect a little bit more, but the injuries you can't help, can you? I mean,
of course,
what can you do?
Of course, yeah. Listen, I get there's injuries, but even then, I look and say the only one from the injuries would be Basuma, right? Who, let's be fair, it's not like I listen. I like Basuma. I think he's a very good signing.
Yeah, me too.
As I said, and let me come to you, Aditya, with this. Do you think there's from our central midfielders, if we look at Skip, Bentancur, Højbjerg and Basuma, is there enough variation in the way all four play for a squad that is in 4 competitions?
No, not at all. Skip is already injured. Now Basuma is injured. So we have 2 central midfielders right now. One of and both of them were playing last season. So technically, our team is not going to improve in central midfield against Southampton, isn't it? And Skip is not even ready for Premier League in my opinion. Like he's an okay squad player, but I think he needs to improve a lot. And all these 4 players, like maybe apart from Bentancur, who can play forward as well, like when it comes to creativity and everything. But rest 3 are just tacklers. They are not really passers, are they? I don't think they are. No. And there is another narrative comes around Maddison that he's actually a number 8, can't play in the double pivot as a number 6 or number 8. Then if that is the case, then why don't we go for somebody like Ruben Neves? He plays deep and he's creative. Go and get him. Is he playing in Champions League? Is he playing in Conference League? Is he playing in Europa League? We are in Champions League. Why?
Aditya, you know why?
Can't we get Ruben Neves? Is that too much to ask for as Tottenham fan?
Because he wouldn't look. Let's call it for what it is. Basuma was cheap because he had 1 year left on his contract. Ruben Neves is going to be 50, 60 million, and that's the difference. That's the difference between us not going for a player like that and going for a player like that. Oh, Faz, can you, dude? Let it go. Let it go. We had the Cucurella chat last week. I get it. You don't. I get it. You don't like him. I get it. I get it. Pep Guardiola and Tuchel must be clearly in the wrong. I get it.
Yeah, okay. Apparently both are crap managers. And Cucurella is a crap player. You know what I'm saying?
What's that,
but
Mike?
Spence is absolutely wonderful.
Level player, just throwing that out there.
Mike, I can't hear. Sorry, say that again one more time.
He's a Champions League level player. I'm just throwing that out there.
Look, for me, this is the key thing, Mike. I'll come to you. This is. Let's talk about our midfield. For me, lots of people keep telling me, loads of people keep telling me about apparently that they know all about Conte's systems. And even though he's always played with creativity in midfield, apparently he doesn't buy attacking midfielders. If he's not going to buy a playmaker, surely, Mike, one of our two central midfielders needs to be a Rodri and Neves. I'm not saying buy Rodri before anyone has a go at me. Rodri and Neves, a Jorginho, someone that sits there and dictates the game from midfield.
An Ericsson.
An Ericsson, which was I can't understand that for love nor money. But Mike, what do you think, Mike, about our midfield options and what we need there?
So there's a couple things. Now, first things first. I think if Conte really wanted Ericsson, they would have gotten it done. That's the first word. Is if the manager wants it, he's gonna get it. That's the level of where Spurs are at now.
No,
almost every player coming in has to get the green light from the manager, as per Alistair Gould. Like that, this is a real report. Like for real. Like I'm not pulling this shit out of my butt. Like
right,
bro. Ali Gould is PR, bro. He's a PR journalist. Let's be honest.
I'm just saying. He has. He's literally in the know. But the second thing is the midfield. Out of all the players you mentioned, Barella, Pirlo, Pogba, you're right. Like none of these are 10s. Like they're not in the hole.
Correct.
They're. You need an 8. Ruben and we brought up Ruben Neves before. Wolves have not signed anybody. Wolves has not gotten rid of anybody. Wolves are basically the same team, and they just they had a huge blow to Jimenez, who's out for like the first month or two at the very least. They're not going to sell Neves. Like they're not going to at this rate.
No,
they weren't going to give him up to United for 60 million. I don't know why he'd come to us, or why Wolves would sell to us.
Again, I don't understand this narrative. If Tottenham at the beginning of the window go to Wolverhampton Wanderers, no disrespect, a good club, but right, Mike, let me break this down. If we cannot go to Wolverhampton Wanderers and take their best player, right? Then why build the new stadium? Why bring Conte in? Why charge the fans almost £100 a game? I'm sorry, I can't understand why Ruben Neves wouldn't jump at the chance to play for Conte, play with Kane, with Son, with Romero, with Perisic. Come on, man.
I think if you're going to ask me, it would be easier to take another player from another league like Peter Zelensky from Napoli, who would fit right in. I think he's a cracking player. You could have gotten him for way less. He's also foreign, so it's not that kind of balances out. And you didn't have to buy from Wolves. You know what I mean? Like I get that there's a whole Premier League proven thing, but you also have to think, like he's a good player on a Champions League level team that we could have gotten. I mean, I get it, man. Like you want to buy Premier League.
Milinkovic Savic as well.
Milinkovic
Fabian Ruiz as well.
But
I also think they would have.
Fabian Ruiz has 1 year left on his contract. I don't know why we don't go for him. Like excellent for Conte, like creative midfielder, number 8, can play as number 10 as well. If we play 3-4-1, excellent player.
Can I just say though, what I do find, and I'm seeing it in the chat now, it really does seem to be that fans tell me Conte is one of the best managers in the world, right? That the club is run brilliantly. We're the 8th richest club in world football. We've got Champions League. We've got all this stuff. But anytime you mention a good player, there are a million excuses as to why Tottenham can't go and get them. But the same fans think we can challenge Man City and Liverpool. Lee, let me bring you in on this. I just can't. There's so many. I'm reading in there. Wolves outpriced him. Talking about Neves. Why would people come to Spurs? Why would people come to Spurs? Isn't Champions League football, Conte, Kane, Son, Romero, that stadium, training? Sorry, does it get any better?
It's underplayed a lot. I mean, it's like I heard yesterday someone said Spurs is a good gig for a manager, for players. It is. We're all right. We may not have been, we're not a trophy-laden sort of club. Well, we used to be, back in the day, but recently, no. But it's not a bad gig, and a lot of players would come, but it's that stigma, isn't it? It's
Daryl, Daryl, can you block this bloke, please? Thank you. Sorry, Lee, go on.
I genuinely can't remember what I said then.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right, mate. No. Yeah.
Was he talking about me?
Oh, don't worry. People like that are just angry. Yeah, Lee. So we're saying like, how? Okay, let me rephrase it another way for you, Lee.
Yeah.
At what stage do we stop making these excuses for Spurs as to why we can't buy? And I'm not talking Haaland's. I'm not talking Mbappe's. I'm talking a Ruben Neves from Wolves. At what point do we stop making excuses as to why we can't even buy players from Wolves?
I mean, it's got to go back to ambition, isn't it? And the level of ambition that the board think we need or think we should have. I mean, we all know the ambition we want, right, Mike? Surely we know the ambition we want.
Wolves have to want to sell their players. Wolves did not want to sell Neves.
No.
They didn't want to sell him.
We didn't want to sell Gareth Bale, but we ended up selling him, isn't it, to Real Madrid?
They Inter didn't want to sell Lukaku. They sold Lukaku.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't matter.
Modric from Spurs to Real Madrid, we didn't want to sell him.
Listen, guys, we already tried signing players worth 40, 50, 60 million. We already tried signing Lo Celso. We already tried signing Ndombele. And guess what? We have to get rid of them. We have to get rid of them.
But that's got no direct correlation to what we need to do now. Because like you said, if you're using your own argument of what Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea do, they buy players, they realise it hasn't worked out within a year and go, right, they're going on loan or we're selling them. Spurs hold on to them for 3, 4, 5 years, and still this many years down the line, we're using that as a reason why we can't go and get... I'm using Neves just as the overall example, but insert whoever you want. Right, Mike, for me, Leicester City didn't want to sell Harry Maguire. You hit that magical number, you're gettable. Every player has a price. Kane was gettable if Man City had hit the 150. Every player's gettable, right?
Yep.
But Spurs never go out to a club and get their best player and go, bang, we'll have you. And it worries me. It worries me that we back this as well. Like this chap said, Neves is not worth 60 million. But we just paid that for Richarlison, who's not better than any of our front three, and Ruben Neves would be the best midfielder at the club. Aditya, let me ask.
Can I just add one thing, Savva, before you ask a question? Hello?
Go on. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So even this argument we get several times that that we don't have enough money.
Hello, mate. 1 second, I'll bring you in. 1 second. Go on, Aditya.
Yeah, so this argument we get a lot of time that we don't have money. But if you look at the revenue streams of Tottenham, we get 40 million pounds from AIA sponsorship, right? Like 40 million per year. So that their 40 million is done. And if we consider our season ticket price of worth 100 pounds per ticket, right? So if we multiply it by 38 games, that makes it 3,800 pounds. And if we multiply it again by 100, we get around by 1,000 we get 3.8 million pounds, right? And if we multiply it again by 10, so for 10,000 tickets, we easily get 38 million pounds. So that much revenue we are generating from 10,000 tickets, worth 100 pounds, and then 40 million pounds from the sponsorship AIA. So that just alone makes 78 million pounds, right? For one player, for one big signing. That is alone. Rest tickets, we have got 63,000 seater stadium, right? And I think we sell around 57,000 every season. And a lot of them is one ticket 5,000 pounds, one ticket to 2,500 pounds, one ticket 6,500 pounds from hospitality prices.
Aditya, can I be honest, dude? You're absolutely blowing my. I've no idea what are we discussing? Like ticket prices?
No, I'm just saying that we generate enough money that we can easily sign a player for 70 million pounds.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
We've got money.
Yeah.
We've got money. Just quickly, I want to bring in Phil in 1 second. Phil, give me 1 second. I just want to go through a few chats. David Clark, I did see your question. Sorry, there's so many comments. You said, I know my question was not answered because if Conte wanted a world-class right wing back, in addition, he would have got him. Your question was, why should buying Spence for 12 million stop Spurs also buying a quality right wing back? I'm sorry.
Yes,
David, are you living under a rock? First of all, Spurs have never signed a world-class player under Daniel Levy. Second of all, what makes you think Conte would be allowed to go and get the world-class wing-back he wants? We've seen no evidence of that this window in any position. We have not signed anyone world-class. Tottenham away is in their house, so is Amir. Peter Simons, well, Leicester wanted 80 million. They wouldn't budge without 80 million. What did Man U pay in the end? 80 million. Guys,
and they don't regret it.
Yeah, listen, I'm sure they regret it, but you know what? they did it, right?
Absolutely.
They went and got their target. Phil, talk to me. Hello, sir. Talk to me. Could Conte, if he asked for a world-class right wing back,
how you doing, Savva? You're right.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
If he asked for a world-class right wing back, mate, you're. I need you to log off and log back in. Mike, I'll come to you. Sorry, Phil, if you can hear me, I need you to log off, log back in, and I need you to turn down whatever device you're watching this show on. Mike, would Conte, if he wanted a world-class right wing back, be given him as well?
You have to ask who's on the market. Who is a world-class right wing back?
No. That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I'm asking. If he wanted a world-class right wing back, forget who's out there. That's their job as scouts. Would he be given him? And what evidence is there to suggest that?
I don't think so.
So why do we get people like David Clark saying apparently it would happen? What's happened this window to suggest that Conte has got any of his main targets? Other than Perisic, I don't see that one of them was, I must have Longley. He's my first choice centre-back. I must have Spence. It doesn't ring true, does it?
I think it's really, I think we're doing a really good job of putting a lot of problems into one and then oversimplifying it. You know what I mean?
Are we oversimplifying it? Isn't it that simple that we've done what Spurs do? We've not done. Have we done anything ambitious? Is the question. There you go.
And this is my question from the beginning. What are your ambitions as a club? Do you want them to win the league?
No. Oh yes, but
yes. Why not? Why not?
Well.
We want Spurs to win the league.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Don't take. Yes, of course we want them to win the league, but we're not there as a club. But
yeah.
You can't be having the same windows you have when you're not in the Champions League, when you are in the Champions League. And the thing for me, Mike, is this is the exact same mistake. And I don't know if you agree with this, Lee. This is the exact same thing we did under Poch. We kept making the Champions League, then having very mediocre windows that didn't strengthen us significantly.
That's a hard sell, man, because you guys went 3 transfer windows without bringing, Spurs went 3 windows without bringing anybody in. That's a long time. That's not what they did. This is way different. And they brought in Perisic, they brought in Forster, they brought in people over 30 on contracts. They've never done that before. So I think, back to timelines, back to expectations. Liverpool lost 2 matches and lost the league. They lost another match and lost the Champions League. These are how fine the margins are to winning things. It's very.
They were worse than us. They were worse than us before Klopp.
If you're gonna put it this way, if Spurs didn't have the Nuno tax at the beginning, they would have had 3rd place too. Chelsea was slipping at the end.
But these are ifs, buts, and maybes, right? Let me flip that. We could say, well, if Chelsea didn't have the Roman Abramovich thing, they might have still gone full steam ahead and finished.
Who got Nuno over Conte in the first place? Who got Nuno over Conte in the first place?
Team. This might have been
It was Daniel Levy. He should have done that.
Hang on, one at a time, guys. Sorry, I can't hear both of you. Sorry, go on, Mike.
If they had Conte from the start, this might have been a completely different conversation. They wouldn't have even brought in Emerson. They probably would have sold off Reguilon. Like these are moves they might have already made if they brought in Conte sooner. So I think a lot of these moves you have to analyze. Where do we go next? It's really easy to say all these windows, we didn't sell these deadwood players who now ruin our homegrown quota. Well, great. Well, what do you do now? You have to get rid of them. You can't just get rid of them for peanuts. You have to get rid of them to good teams that the players want to go to.
No. See, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. Good teams are not going to want these crap players. Levy has to take a hit on them. That's the problem. He won't take the hit on these players. He wants money back that he paid for these poor players, and clubs aren't going to have it. Hence why everyone wants to loan our players, but no one wants to give him money for them. However, Mike, let's deal in absolutes, right? We can all say, if Conte had started the season, I can say, if Roman Abramovich hadn't have been the situation with Roman Abramovich, Liverpool could say that season, if Van Dijk hadn't got injured. But these things have happened. So my point is, I don't feel like we are learning from the mistakes of when we got in the Champions League before. And Spurs fans, for me, I'm not sorry. I don't know why I say I'm sorry. Are kidding themselves if they think this has been a very good Champions League window. If other clubs had made this window, if Arsenal had made this window or Man United, we'd all be going, well, what have they really done? But because it's Tottenham and it's Conte and apparently he can turn water into wine.
And it's not the normal. Let's not forget that. When's the last time we had 6 players come in like this?
We always get about 6 players, Lee, but normally they're like in the last week.
Yeah, sorry, not this early on. Yeah.
But break it down for me, Mike. I want you to break this to me. Look at the 6 players. Yeah? What's actually come in and made the other teams around us go, Spurs mean business. Because essentially we're chasing, right? If you don't want to look behind, you've got to look forward. What makes those teams above us go, gosh, Spurs mean business?
So I always bring up this question when, I'm discussing this with, friends. Do these players start on other teams, right? Does Perisic start on Liverpool? Does Bissouma start on Chelsea? And the thing is, it's easy to think of that as like the barometer, right? The level of success. But we're also building a squad. We also have to deal with players we can actually get, right? I think Jesus doesn't start for any of these teams. He hasn't. Jesus had like maybe 10, 12 starts in the league. Like that's it.
Chelsea.
If you look at our window, right? Chelsea would want some of our players. Chelsea would want Perisic. Chelsea would want Bissouma. Chelsea would probably want
let me stop you there. Let me stop you there.
Look at the level of players that they brought in, and half of the players are Champions League level players.
Not absolutely, they are not. Perisic, yes. Chelsea might want Perisic. They might want Perisic, yes. Why would they want Bissouma when they've got Jorginho, Kante, Kovacic, Conor Gallagher, Mason Mount, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek? Why would they want Bissouma?
I think he makes a squad on a top 4 team.
But that's not what Mike, you've got a habit of not answering questions I asked you.
I said Champions League level teams. Top 4 is Champions League.
I asked you, right, he doesn't get into Liverpool's midfield. He doesn't get into Man City's midfield, and he doesn't get into Chelsea's midfield. Let's be really honest about all 3.
Over Henderson, won't he get, Savva?
Sorry?
I think he gets over Henderson, in my opinion.
He gets in over Henderson?
Yeah.
He gets in above
Bissouma.
Hang on. Basuma gets in above the Liverpool captain.
Yeah.
That plays
as a player, I think he's better than Henderson. But I think as a footballer, he is better than, in my opinion.
Okay, but as fans, we do this. We go, he's better than him. If you turn around and put Basuma in that squad, you think that Klopp is going to his club captain that's helped him win however many trophies and says, by the way, mate, you're not starting this season. This guy is. Not a chance. You think he starts above Jorginho and Kovacic, who have been there, seen it, done it, won it, and Kante, who's been there, seen it, done it, and won it? On what basis?
Kante, to be fair, is not the same player anymore. Like, he's still quality, but what he used to be before, he's not the same.
Was, though, wasn't he? He was, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, of course, definitely. He was world class, definitely.
Just quickly, David Clark. I have not once ever said that I think. So, first of all, it's not a podcast. Second of all, please don't make accusations that aren't true. I hate it when you do this. I've not once said that Conte will definitely walk. I always pose a question and say, do you think he will walk if this happens? I can't stand these fans that say, oh, well, if he doesn't get the right wing back he wants, he walks. It's just not that simple.
No.
It's not that simple. Just before I come back to you guys, so Savva, you always say that if Liverpool won 2 more matches, they would have won the quadruple, when in fact they scraped themselves over 2 goalless finals. They got to. SAH, oh God, sorry guys, I have to. Sorry guys, I have to do it. First and foremost, Savva. I can't believe how stupid people are. First of all, Savva doesn't always say if Liverpool won 2 more matches, they would have won the quadruple. Right? That's a fact. If Liverpool had won if Liverpool were 10 minutes away from winning the league, and they were in the Champions League final, right? So I'm not really sure what you're arguing there. Use your words, put them in a full sentence, and try and make a point. Mike, let's get back to that. Get back to that then. Who else? Perisic, Basuma for me is arguable. None of them are taking Longley. None of them are taking Forster. None of them are taking Jed Spence.
Longley was a starter at Barcelona until last year, man. I think, and hear me out, man. Hear me out. I'm gonna put this assertion out here, okay? I'm gonna put this assertion out here. Spurs window is not as bad as everybody thinks that it was. And the only reason that they think that it's bad is because they had the press expectations of 150 million pounds that need to be spent. If you didn't have expectations and you put this all in a vacuum, this is actually a solid window that improved the squad. Tottenham is likely still going to make top 4. They're going to make a cup run here or there. These are the expectations that come with the season. They're not, all the problems aren't going to be fixed. You actually have to evaluate it as a whole. You can't just pick apart players and say, oh, can they do, the squad was improved. It was markedly improved. Okay. The squad will play Champions League football. They'll probably make it out of groups. They're probably going to make a cup run. This team is better than you think it is.
But it's not. It's not better than I think it is. It is exactly where I think it is. Mike, where have I said Spurs will finish this season?
I don't know. I don't recall you 4th.
Right. Where did we finish last season? Right. What have we done significantly to say we're going to be any different? So it's exactly where I think it is. Look, I'm all for this, where you're talking about putting it in a vacuum.
To be fair, we can finish 3rd, can't we? We were only 3 points behind Chelsea.
Yeah, but
and Chelsea have gone slightly worse.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not saying we can't.
Rudiger, Christensen, Alonso.
Hang on. Well, first of all, Alonso's still there, right? This is the thing I keep hearing. I keep hearing that Chelsea are having an absolute mare, but we're brilliant and above them. Chelsea have lost.
No, that's not so. Close. Yeah.
Chelsea have lost Rudiger and Christensen at the back. Two of their 11 they've lost. They've already bought in Koulibaly. They've bought in Raheem Sterling, who adds goals. Right? They're in talks with. I'm seeing they're in talks to get Cucurella over the line, De Jong over the line, either Fofana or Vardial. Now look at those. If they got those 5, look at that as a window, and then look at our window. And yet our fans will belittle them and glorify us. Now, at the end of the season, if we finish above Chelsea, I'll sit here and go, I was wrong. But I look at our squad depth, and this is the thing, Mike. Lee, I'll bring you in. Mike, answer, and then after Lee. This is the thing for me. I've said this all window, Mike. People want to bang on about 6 signings. Galini has been replaced by Forster. 1 in, 1 out. No depth added. Spence, if Doherty or Royal goes, no depth added. Even if they don't, they're crap anyway, right? Perisic, we know Reggie will go. So that will be 1 in, 1 out, no depth added. Basuma will replace either Winks, Ndombele or Lo Celso, or 2 of them. So that's probably less depth added. Longley, yeah. So far, Roden and Tanganga have gone. So that's less depth added. Bergwijn out, Richarlison in. The same. Do you see my point? There's no depth being added, and people are confusing the word depth here. There's no depth in this squad. Am I wrong, Mike?
Man, what are you saying? when you can't compare Richarlison to
Bergwijn. Yes, I can. He's taking his place.
Richarlison's a 9.
No. I think he wants to say Richarlison is just a much better player than Bergwijn. I think that's what he's saying.
Player than Bergwijn is.
Hang on, but that again, this is the important word, right? I have not once in that sentence talked about the quality of the ins and the outs. I said depth. Yeah, last year, who came off the bench in attack? Bergwijn. This year, Richarlison. Right, so you haven't added depth. There's no depth there.
You know what? I think something more interesting that I think we should talk about, including the window, is tactics.
Oh, hello.
Mark, sort your t-shirt out.
Oh, sorry.
I think something interesting that we should talk about is, one, Lucas moving to right wing back. I think that's more significant than people think. Lucas Moura moving to right wing back. I think that's really interesting. And the second thing is putting Kane as the 10 in the 3-5-2 and moving Sonny and Richarlison as the 2 strikers. I think that's also really interesting. I think these are little tactical tweaks and dimensions that I think might be practiced or should be seen through the season. I think Kane, you're not going to get a better 10 than Kane.
No, but hang on, but no one said that. I think again, I feel like you've completely avoided the question, right? I like you
presenting our new questions, because when you think of the same questions in a vacuum, you just get an echo chamber. When you think of the same solution, you're just talking heads.
No, but Mike, so what you've done,
work with it.
So what you've done is this is typical of Spurs and Spurs fans, right? Rather than go out and buy the right wing back we need and the creative player we need, we're now going, well, isn't it exciting? Because Lucas, who's been shit for years, is going to go and play there and gives us a new dimension. And Harry Kane.
Who's going to buy Hakimi? He's not coming here. He went from PSG to Inter.
Mike, who said Hakimi? I listed
coming here.
But Mike, you said Hakimi. I listed you 5 or 6 right wing backs earlier.
And none of them are world class. None of them are world class.
I think it's a case. I think the problem is that it's a case of getting the right player for the right job. What we've been doing is papering over bloody cracks, and we've been doing it for years. This is the whole reason why they're trying Lucas at right wing back, is because they know we're weak there. Right, let's put Lucas there because they know he's not going to get his original spot back regardless. Let's stick Lucas right wing back, try it, see what happens. If it comes off, great, brilliant. But
Conte's done that before. He's done that to Moses. He's done that to Asby. He's done that.
Doesn't matter.
Agreed.
That's we're not them.
Working out.
Right. So okay. So again, what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing. I'll bring you in, Mark, in a second. So what I'm hearing is we're gonna take one of the best number 10s in world football and make him an attacking midfielder because we won't go and buy creativity. And we're going to move Lucas Moura, who's a failed forward, to right wing back because we won't go and buy a better right wing back than Jed Spence. And fans justify it. And then fans justify that. Think about it, Mike. You're justifying these decisions.
Sometimes they pan out. Conte has a track history. He has a track record of making this work. I would say don't knock it till you see it. I would, and I don't think Kane is going to be.
How many years do we have to see Lucas Moura? How many years do you need to see Lucas Moura before you realise he's not good enough? Why do I need to see another year of him to know he's not good enough?
again, you have to find a team that wants to buy him too if you want to move him. You know,
That's not what. Again, Mike. That is not the question I asked you. The question I asked you was, how many years do you have to see Lucas Moura before you realise he's not good enough? Not whether or not we should shoehorn him in at right wing back because we're too tight to go and buy a proper right wing back.
I think you have. I think as fans, we all have a very, very high expectation, an over expectation of what teams can deliver, especially in one window. I think it's a lot easier to train up players to move, especially with a manager who's done it before. I'm gonna say again, don't knock it till you see it.
Listen. I've been going to Spurs year in, year out for nearly 35 years, right? I am sick of, I'll be honest, sorry, Mike, I am sick of this. Our fans have their bar set down here whilst being charged up here by the owners. I'm sorry. If you want to charge me 100 odd quid or whatever it is to watch Tottenham Hotspur play week in, week out, I don't want to see Lucas at right wing back. I don't want Harry Kane dropping into midfield because yet another window has gone by where we've not addressed lack of creativity at the club. So when you're saying don't knock it until you try it, Lucas Moura is not good enough as a footballer. Why can't we go and buy a right wing back? Anyone can answer that. Why can't we go and buy a proper one rather than shoehorning people in?
Because we'd rather make do. That's what it seems like.
Lack of ambition.
Right, Mark. Let me bring you in here on this. Welcome back. Lucas Moura, right wing back. Should I be excited? Talk to me about it?
No, Lucas Moura, right wing back. To be honest, it just doesn't work for me. On the case of why we don't. I mean, maybe call me again like the eternal optimist, but I actually believe that we'll buy another one. I do before the window shuts. Honestly, I believe that we will buy another one because I mean, when you see Doherty, I know it's only pre-season, but seriously, I believe he probably will. There's a chance that he might keep Emerson because Emerson. The thing about Emerson, he could just come in to when you do need to defend and you just slightly change that formation and he can defend. Let's be fair to him. But yeah, I believe that we will buy another one. I do. And I think we'll buy another centre back as well. Because when you see Rodon's gone,
Tanganga possibly going,
virtually on his way, let's say. Of course, I mean we still need the numbers as well. So, I'm not all doom and gloom just yet, but I do believe that we'll buy another one. Seriously, so.
Okay, I hope we do. Just quickly, Pete, I'm going to come to you in a second. First of all, I don't know who is. Typical troll with no name or no face. The wing-back Savva's mentioned are all unproven as Spence. I just can't. I can't begin to pick you apart. How wrong you are and how silly you're going to be. I'm talking about Maley that plays for Denmark and Atalanta in the Serie A. I'm talking about Molina that plays right back or right wing back for the Argentine national team alongside Romero. I'm talking about Molina that plays right. Someone needs to turn their. If they're watching me on something, turn it down alongside Romero. Thank you. I'm sorry. Every right back or right wing back I mentioned, is from a top league in the world, and you think they're as unproven as Spence from the Championship. Pete, welcome. Talk to me then. My man Mike there, bit of a politician. He's telling me that I should wait and see that Lucas Moura at right wing back could be an answer. Kane as an attacking midfielder is the answer, and that only filling 2 of the 11. Only 2 players that go straight into the 11 is a good window. What do you think, my man?
Let's say I completely disagree with that, 100%. We've been doing this for years, making players in positions that they don't really play. Conte's done it once with one player to make him an effective player. Everyone says he made him Mose into a class wing back. He didn't. He was an effective wing back for that time. If he was world class, he'd still be playing now as a wing back, and he's not. No one even knows where he is. It was a one-off, and people think he can do that all the time. And since that's what is driving people's idea. We can make this one into that one into this one. What happens if if the bus driver's missing? Do we make Conte into a bus driver? I mean, where does it end? We keep repackaging players. And as for the window, what don't get me is we finished 2 points ahead of Arsenal with Kane and Son playing out their skin. We had no creativity and we had crap fullbacks. Arsenal had no strike, no goal power whatsoever, but still finished 2 points behind and had to cock it up. So Arsenal have gone out and gone, okay, we'll fix that problem. What have we done to fix our problems since then? So we've got the same problems. So you could say Arsenal will score a lot more goals this year with Jesus, so they'll win a lot more games. What have we done in respect to that? All we're doing is just thinking, okay, we're fourth now, glass ceiling reach, thank you very much. And we just do what we try and stay here every time.
Okay. All right, just quickly, just before I come to Football Ferreira, 1 second, my man, 1 second. Everybody, there are 185 of you in the chat and only 114 likes. If you haven't liked, please do already. Please subscribe as well to Savva Talk Spurs. That would be absolutely fantastic. And if you do make any super chats, 50% does go to charity. Football Ferreira, welcome, my friend. Now, you are not a Spurs fan. You are a football fan. From a football fan's point of view, what do you make from the outside looking in of Tottenham Hotspur's window and the activity that we've done?
Right, so before we start, can you make sure that everyone can hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me, yeah? Good.
Yep.
Good afternoon to you all. Thank you for having me, Savva. It's a pleasure. You're a great guy. You've done so much. You helped me grow my channel a lot. You're a legend. And the good thing I like about you is that your football knowledge and understanding is the same as me. That's why we get on. With Spurs, yeah, as you said, I'm not a Spurs fan. It doesn't matter who I support. I'm in here to talk about Spurs, so let's talk about Spurs. And what I've seen from Spurs is that 5 minutes just before I joined this live chat, I was looking through a Spurs squad, yeah, and having so many people out there telling me that they are better than Chelsea, they are closer to Manchester City and Liverpool. It makes me myself think that, this kind of people shouldn't be allowed to talk about football, right? And another thing I'm going to say, look, I haven't got anything against Spurs. Since I opened my YouTube channel, I've met absolute amazing, great people like you, Savva, and Harry. I haven't met Harry yet, but I've spoke to, a few times with him on his chat and stuff. But what I've seen from Spurs is that if you're not signing at least 3 more players, that creative midfield that you needed to break that kind of teams like Brighton, we've seen a lot last season. If you don't sign that kind of player, and if you don't cover them backs and another centre back, you will not finish top 4. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me
say one more thing quickly as well. A lot of people out there slagging Chelsea off that Spurs is ahead Chelsea already. Look at Spurs squad, yeah. Like Savva always says that we have to create a team. We have to build a team to win today. You cannot build a team to win tomorrow. You have to win today.
That's right.
How many more years will you go without trophy? How many more?
No, I agree with you. Let me bring in Lee. Let me come to you.
Yep.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because every time we get a new manager, a new director of football, we have to start a new project. And I hate that word, but This is what I hear. Patience, project, in 3 years will be great. At what point do these people who keep telling me to be patient, are they able, or are you able to give me a timeline of what this looks like now? Like when do I have to stop being patient? And when can we say that the club as a whole has failed because we just never seem to get it done?
When we start prioritizing what we need to do. And at the moment, yes, okay, we're going into this season partially. Well, no, I wouldn't even say we're prepared because we're going in blind again. But I think a lot of Spurs fans have been blinded for a long time. They, it's what they're used to. It's what people are used to, And like you say, different manager coming in each time, it's resetting. Oh, it's all right. We've got a better grade of managers going to reset it from time and time. It's going to keep doing the same thing, and it's just not good enough. So I can't give you a timeline, Savva. I mean, we can just go by today, can't we? And what I've seen today, we've made potentially some good signings. Of course we have, but time will tell.
So yeah, I mean, look, I agree. I mean, Mark, let me come down to you. Look, I don't know the ages of everyone in this chat, right? I mean, I'm 40 in about 3 months. I've been going to Spurs since I was about 3 years of age, and I've seen very little success in the last 21 years. And yet I'll be told by fans who are 16, 17, 18 to be patient. I don't know ball. We've got a plan. We've got a project. Can we realistically, Mark, have a plan with a manager that's not signed a new contract and that is notorious for not being at a club for a very long time?
But I think him Conte himself has uttered those words. We have to be patient. He's uttered the words, "I'm not a miracle worker." I mean, yeah, Sav, I'm 50 years old. I've been supporting Spurs since I was 8, 1978. I remember when going to my first game when we bought Ozzy Ardiles and Rick Steele for crying out loud, right? And going into the 80s, I remember watching the 81-82 FA Cup finals, etc. And that manager there, Keith Burkinshaw at the time, I mean, after he even left because of the structure of where we was going, because it was all about kind of saving money. Then we had Alan Sugar who took over, and it became all about saving money. Although we did buy a couple of a world class player in Clinton, etc. But I don't know. I think it's more down to the board of what we're doing. Even though great things have happened, like with the stadium, training facilities, etc., to elevate us there. But I mean, I agree with what a lot of people said, that the time is now. When you got a world class manager, the time is now. We don't know if he's completely backing him, but he seems happy. That's all I can gauge it with. He seems happy, Conte. Yeah. So I don't know where we're going.
Just quickly, Mark. Lots of people are saying this. Apparently, that Fabrizio Romano has said that Spurs are in talks with Udinese for left back Destiny Udogie, who is a 19-year-old. If that is true, does that not sum up Tottenham Hotspur in an absolute nutshell?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it does. It kind of does. Yes, but when you think over the last, let's say, 6 years odd, that type of thinking philosophy has been at Spurs for that time. Let's buy young, even though we're not particularly a selling club. Let's buy young and see what happens. And now, I think we're sort of using Antonio Conte to think, okay, everyone's going to be brought on to a next level. I mean, it could happen. It may not happen. But I know what we're saying. Yeah, I mean, right wing back. Yes, as I said the other day when I was on it, a Dumfries for me. Bang. I can't understand why we wasn't in the mix. So all I can think of is that it's wages again, and we need to elevate, because at the end of the day, those lot down the road even pay more wages than us.
Yeah.
So why aren't we now saying, let's up our wage cap so that we can really, because it's not like we can't afford the players' initial prices, transfer fees, let's up the wages. I think that's our sticking point.
Savva, sorry, Savva. This comment down here, although he's a heck of a talent, we need for now, right? I'm sorry, this is the whole problem. This is what I'm talking about. He is a good player, don't get me wrong, but we need now. You can't stick a 19-year-old in there and have that responsibility.
I mean, this is the thing for me. So Fabrizio Romano, word for word, has said Tottenham have opened talks to sign Udinese left back Destiny Udogie on permanent deal with the potential loan back this season. Negotiations at an early stage. There's still no full agreement as there are many clubs interested. Now, if we know Daniel Levy, that will drag on for about another 2 years. But, and again, I've got no issue with buying young players to this club. And if he was going to be the backup to Perisic, but if he's not going to play any part in this season, again, Mike, I'll come to you because I know you said you wanted to jump off soon, but I'll come to you. 19-year-old left backs to loan them back. We did this with Papa Sarr last year. This is where our transfer budget is going. How can people tell me these are good windows? What sort of signing is that?
Does Conte want him?
Sorry?
Does Conte want the player?
Right. So we're going back to before Conte's strengthened the 11. His ambition is go and get me that 19-year-old, loan him out. Don't worry about my first 11.
I'm gonna say this, okay? And
go on.
I've said this before. Spurs fans cannot talk about the past when thinking about moves for the future. You have to deal with the here and now with the present squad that you have. And in order to bring in players, you have to ship players out. That's number one. So I recognize the Spurs have had a long trophy drought and they need to bring in signings. They're going to be 3 or 4 over the homegrown cap. They can't afford to bring in new players. They simply can't. They have to sell other players first. The second part I want to include is, yes, Antonio Conte does have a stellar track record of getting the best out of his players and increasing versatility. So, the man below me, he was talking about the player, Victor Moses. Victor Moses did do well under Conte. You know who else is doing well under Conte? Azpilicueta and Marcus Alonso, both who are slated to leave for bigger clubs than Chelsea. So 2 players who are still functioning, won the Champions League, converted left back, right back, now center backs, going to bigger clubs.
When did Alonso play him? When did he play Alonso at centre back?
He plays him at left center back all the time.
That's left centre back. Now he does, but not for Conte.
No, but he converted him to that position.
But Mike,
that start was already there. So
are we just going to constantly do this?
What I'm saying is moving Moura to right wing back, or moving Perisic to right wing back because he has that versatility. Moving King to the 10 spot where he can actually spray passes to finishers like Sonny and Richarlison. That's not out of the pale. This shouldn't be like mind-breaking stuff. A manager getting the best out of his players by increasing the versatility that they have.
Okay, but Mike,
we've tried Lucas as a forward, a right winger, a number 10, and now we're going to put him in a right wing back. So by that, so next year it'll be in goal. When do we eventually get rid of him?
So honestly, probably next year when his contract expires. You have to, if you're going to remove players, you have to remove players. You have to subtract from column A to get them to column B. Like that's how the quota works.
Okay, you can stack up your column B and then get rid of your column A.
I go back to my earlier comment. If you have to get rid of players to bring players in, don't make the first 6 players. Don't make 3 or 4 of them as not really a lot better than what you've already got. That doesn't make any sense.
If you explore the players that Tottenham went after, they went after Bastoni, they went after Guardiola.
Right, okay.
And both clubs said no, right?
Okay, Mike,
price prohibitive.
Mike, how much did Spurs bid for Vardiel and for Bastoni?
I believe 60 or 70 million.
You believe there was never a bid for either player. You know that, right? Spurs did not bid for either player.
listen, if I want to buy your house, right, and I say, hey, I'll buy it for 100,000, and you're like, no, it's 120. I'm not going to give you an offer for 100,000.
Right. So again, Mike, stop the politician answers. Did Spurs bid for those two players?
No, because they're already told no.
No. Are they the only two players on the market?
But I'm saying if you have to spend money well.
Yes, and we haven't.
Yet. You don't know that.
Yet. Mike, do you know what I like about fans like you? I need fans like you for fans like me to thrive, and you probably vice versa, right? All love, my man, all love, right? But what I love is, so far, again, everything is, how can we take a failed player and put him in another position? How can we save money? Let's buy young players. Let's do this. When will Spurs fans... I don't ever hear this from Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. I don't hear this lack of ambition from other fans. Liverpool, Chelsea, United, and all those clubs would look at Lucas and go, he's been crap for years. We're going, hang on, light bulb moment. Let's put him at right wing back because suddenly he might be able to dribble. Suddenly he might be able to cross. And suddenly he might be able to produce something. Why can't we act like a big club and go out and buy?
Because, as I said, there's a track record of this manager doing it. So don't knock it till you see it.
I just can't. Do you know what? On my bio, Football Thrower, I'm going to come to you in a minute, Mike. On my bio, one of the things I say is, dear Spurs fans, do you have the Tottenham you deserve? Right? And it's comments like that that make me think so many fans don't deserve any trophies. How can we be the most expensive club in the world to watch, with the best stadium, with Champions League, 8th richest club, and we're talking about, the manager's got the track record of moving Moses once. By the way, did you see Moses' stats that one season that everyone raves about?
Yeah.
They were piss poor. And everyone tells me he did it with Moses.
He also did it with Azpilicueta, and he did it with, Marcus Alonso. These, there's 3 examples on a team that started and won on a Champions League team. I mean, you can't just say he doesn't have a track record of doing this.
Azpilicueta's a top footballer. There's a difference. Lucas Moura is a 30-year-old or whatever it is who is not. There's a huge difference between making Azpilicueta versatile and making Luke.
But can I just say something, Savva? The only thing is that I agree with you about Lucas, but the manager doesn't want to get rid of him. That's a fact.
We don't know that.
The manager doesn't want to get rid of him.
How do we know that?
So if the manager, so we're gonna roll the dice, because how many times did Conte say during the season, I don't think I could do this, I want to be off, basically. He's got enough money, he's got enough nuts, he's done it before. If he wanted to walk, he'll walk. If he's not happy, he will definitely walk. He's got no qualms about that.
Mark, look at that comment. For all these people bigging up that he might have moved the player once, look at the players Conte wins titles with.
Yeah.
If we look at the Chelsea team he won the title with, everyone always just goes to Victor Moses. They conveniently forget all the other quality players.
Yeah, but when you think of what he's done at Chelsea in his when he went on to win the title, I'm not talking about the Victor Moses thing. I'm pretty sure he bought Conte, didn't he? Kante, right? He bought Azpilicueta. He bought
he's already there.
Who else?
Do you want to know who else he bought?
Who were relatively. I mean, apart from Kante, because he won the league with Leicester, the rest, and he paid 35 million quid for Kante. I mean, Christ.
Didn't he buy? And I'm saying, didn't he? I know the answer to the first two. Didn't he buy Danny Drinkwater to Chelsea,
Yeah,
Bakayoko to Chelsea, and Morata?
yeah.
So all of this, I have to blindly follow what Conte wants. Right, Football Forever. Let me bring you in here, right, as an outsider. You probably see a lot more football fans than I do, other football streaming channels, etc. Are we the only fan base that constantly want failed players to stay at our football club?
Yeah, by the look of it.
What is this?
Can I just say something? I'm going to go back a few things that you guys already mentioned. We were talking about
go for it.
the left back that from Udi. I've watched a kid play. He's a very good player. But is that another Spence that Tottenham bring players in to win in the future, not to win today?
Yeah.
Do you guys want that? Obviously not. You need players to win now. Enough. You've said already, and most of you guys keep saying we need players in, quality players to win now, not to win tomorrow. It doesn't matter how good they are. I believe Spence in 2-3 years' time probably will be one of the best right backs in the league. But you bring in Spence now. Now you after this Udinese left back. Not even players that Conte asking Levy for. All Levy does and been doing, like I said, Levy is the biggest problem that Spurs been having. Levy is the biggest problem at Tottenham. He keep bringing players that he watch on YouTube, and he thinks the manager gonna like. And going back with Lucas Moura, sorry, but unfortunately, Lucas Moura, his time at Spurs is gone many years ago. This guy needs to go. And if you look, like I was mentioning when I first came in this live, I was keep checking Spurs. Your squad, there's nowhere near enough you're going to finish top 4. That's my opinion. And another thing that I'm going to say about your squad, if you have players like Eric Dyer and Sessegnon, I'm not even going to mention Emerson, because Emerson Roll should be in Brazil having a barbecue, enjoying the weather, and that's what his life should be, not playing football, especially for a club like Spurs. You guys pay enough. You guys have done so much for your club to deserve at least to win one trophy every 2 or 3 years, not winning one trophy. How many trophies you won the last 10 years? 1, right? And I'm telling you now, if you keep the same way, you will not win any trophies. And let me go just to finish off. If you look at your star 11 and you have players like Dyer and Sessegnon, you tell me. I'm going to leave that for that people in the comments to comment, and for you guys, you tell me with these players like Dyer and Sessegnon, how can you? I'm going to say that because a lot of fans, all the Spurs fans think they're going to challenge Liverpool and Man City only in their dreams. But how can you challenge for them 2 sharks with players like Dyer and Sessegnon? That's what I have to say.
Absolutely not.
I wouldn't let you guys finish off because I'm actually enjoying this first time live, and enjoy. Not of London, my man, another one, Goodbye.
Okay, thank you for that. Let me come over to you then with that. I mean, some good points there. I've said this all summer about the squad depth not being good enough to challenge. Football Ferreira said there about it's always for the future. It's never for now. I don't understand what Spurs fans' ambitions are anymore, because when I speak to my mates who are Man United fans, even Man United fans are fuming. Their club is where they are. Fuming. West Ham fans that I speak to, they're right. What can we do next? How can we get better? What are we doing? We want that player. We don't want this player. Spurs fans, well, let's just keep the players. We'll keep the same old players that have been poor for years. We don't need to buy anyone. We're still gonna. But we're still gonna finish top 2. I don't get it, mate. Make it make sense for me.
I can't make it make sense, mate, because it's been going on for so long. I mean, it's the aftermath of bad decisions after bad decisions, isn't it? Let's be realistic, and we've fallen into this consistency of doing it, and luckily we have Conte who could bring us out of that. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, he does bring us out of that. But how long is it going to take? We don't know that. How long has he got? We don't know, do we? Let's be realistic. Hence why now is what matters. It's not a year, 2 years down the line. You know, I'm not saying we should win the league in 2 years, but what I am saying is we need to start making moves, proper moves now, and then, you know, and then work towards that. But I get what Mike's saying. We have to get rid of the players. I get that. But that's from bad decisions in the past. We need to get on it, pull our fingers out and get on with it and get it done, because we are going to be left behind.
Lee, I agree. I agree that these players need to go, but I go back to my point then that if there was only room to bring in 6 players, say, I'm not saying that's definite, but if there was only room to bring in 6 players, then make those 6 players count.
Go all out. Absolutely.
Make those 6 players count. So far, if I break it down really harshly, really harshly, and everyone knows I can be harsh, right? Keep hitting the like button, people, by the way, and subscribe if you haven't already to Savva Talk Spurs. I'd like 5 more subscribers to hit my target for today's show.
Like 1,000.
If I'm going to break this down, football for really harshly. Spurs fans, before this window started, were saying, if Conte gets top 4, we'll have to back him. We've got Champions League, we've got the stadium, we've got this. This is the window, we're doing it. This is summer. This is the best manager we've ever had, right? Ever. Conte is going to be backed, right? Fast forward a few weeks, and Spurs, who are brilliant at announcing things, brilliant. I can't go an hour without an email into my inbox about buying tickets for a concert, NFL, Skywalk, T-shirt, whatever it may be. They come out with this announcement that made lots of fans go all weak at the knees and all a bit excited in their bellies. There's a £150 million cash injection, which was a very clever wording because they didn't say it was for players, but they did say there was £150 million at our disposal. Fast forward 2 months. Fast forward to 70 hours before the season starts. We signed 2 free transfers. 2 free transfers. We signed a player on loan who hasn't really played a lot for the last few years. We spent 12.5 million on a right back from the Championship. We bought a bloke out of Brighton who's very good, but for 25 million because he only had a year left on his contract. We would never have gone and got him if he was going to cost 60, 70 million. And we spent what is 2/3 of our budget so far, so 2/3 of our spending so far on a striker that doesn't even get into the 11. And yet I've got fans creaming themselves telling me this is an amazing window, that Levy's got the best interests of the club at his heart, that we're doing things, and that we couldn't have got any better players. Then I'm hearing we can't attract the likes of James Maddison. Pete, am I going mad? Am I the most negative football fan in the world? Or am I just a fan that's fed up and seen this done time and time again?
No, you put us both in that box, brother. It's rinse and repeat. I mean, this year we've had all the excuses over the years. The stadium, we're not in the Champions League. We've got the X, Y, Z. So then this summer you go, right, Champions League tick, stadium tick, training ground tick, NFL tick, Conte tick, and then they add another thing. They throw in a massive tick with an investment. And where is it? Where is it? I mean, we know we didn't say it was carefully worded, so we wouldn't say all on players, but where is any of it? We've not even spent that yet. We're within our own sort of normal budget. What's on that spend? 45 million, 50 million?
I think it's about 58 million net, isn't it? Or 57 million net spend.
And that will go down when we start eventually flogging these players. But where Mike says you've got to get players in, you've got to get players out to get players in. When you've got players that you don't want and no one else wants, you get them yellow reduced to clear stickers out and you go, right, he's got to go. We've got to get rid of him cheap.
I know exactly what's going to happen with us, right? We're going to get to the last week, 2 weeks of the transfer window, knowing we've got that money there, and then it's going to be Paratici going, right, what bargains can we get? That's what it's going to be. If we need those 2 or 3 players, like 2 players, which we do, That's what it's going to be like. Last minute. And I know that's how Paratici works. I get that normally. But I bet you that's what happens. We'll go last week, all this time last week. There you go.
Yeah.
Try and offer him peanuts.
It'd be nuts. And what will happen is we'll get a big name link on the last day. We couldn't get over the line, but we tried.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then it's panic buying. Then it's panic buying.
That one's bound to come out. They'll put in a bid for a player knowing full well it's never going to happen, like they've done before. And the fans go, see, look, they tried and well done. And then we'll have fans after the window clapping the net spend and how much we've saved on the wage bill like they did last summer. So we should be able to afford wages. We saved 90 million last summer. We ain't put them wages back on the books. So where's that? That should be there. But get rid of players. You have to sell them cheap. If you don't want them and not one else wants them, they got to go cheap. That's how it is. You can't hold on to them. If you don't want something, you can't ask what you paid for it. That's just rules of economics.
Can I? Okay, let me just quickly. I'm going to come to you, Mike, in 1 second. Big up Stevie C. Thank you so much for the chat. That is 50% of that does go to charity. As I said, if anyone else is feeling charitable, I do give my super chat money to the British Heart Foundation to help people with heart problems and people who are coping with people who have died because of heart problems. Also, please keep hitting the like button. There's 175 of you in here and only 120 likes. 55 more likes. Smash that subscribe button. Does Maddison as an 8 and Kostic as a wing back change things? Incredibly. If Kostic came in left wing back, Perisic went to right wing back, and James Maddison as a creator, all of a sudden the creativity, the assists in that team goes from here to there. So thank you, Steve, for that. Mike, let's talk about people want to talk about they rate a window, right? People have asked me all summer, what would you give it out of 10? But a window, right? A transfer window is ins and outs, right, Mike? It's not just people coming in. From an outgoing perspective, and of course we talk now because the window has still got 27 odd days, but as of right now, we have completely failed in the outgoing department. Would that be fair to say?
Absolutely. I think the only ones that Spurs got out were just Bergwijn, right?
Yeah, Carter, Vickers, and Clark, but yeah.
I mean, those are under 21. I think Clark was an under 21, so that technically didn't count. I think, overall, I'd probably rate the window like a 6.5. You know what I mean?
Just quickly, Brian Murphy, you keep talking about City and Chelsea spending. I mean, what can we say about that? What is it you want us to say about that? These two have been spending money forever. And equally, if Spurs want to spend money, we can. We just have owners that don't.
And why do these clubs spend the money? Because they just go out and they give them what they want and they get the players they want. I'm not saying it's always cut and dry like that, but 9 times out of 10, you've got to offer the bloody price. Give them the money, man. Give them.
Yeah.
Listen,
go on, Mike.
So I'm gonna say this, and this is my last word before I leave. Spurs have had good business in the last couple of transfer windows, even if you consider them last minute buys. Romero was a last minute buy, right? Bentancur and Kulusevski, both last minute buys. We had high expectations of Romero. We didn't have Bentancur and Kulusevski. We thought they were cast-offs. We thought they were Juventus deadwood. What I'm saying is that you can't necessarily think that this is what it is, and we have to see these players play. We have to see these players play. Most of these players we haven't even seen play in a real competitive match. Bissouma is obviously going to be injured for the first, little bit. Skip is going to be hurt for the first little bit. But I'm going to say that the flexibility of the team is there. Son can play striker. Richarlison can play left wing. Kane can play 10. Lucas can play right wing back. Perisic can play right wing back. And I think Højbjerg and Bentancur can both, take turns as a number 8. What I'm saying is, don't knock the team out before you see what you have. There's a lot.
Can I ask a question on that before you go there, Mike?
Say again?
Mike, I know you're going. Just quickly, Phil, in the background, mate, listen, I'll get you on in a bit. If you jump off for now, come on in about 10 minutes, okay? Mike, just last question before you go. I get what you're saying, and I hear this every window of don't knock it until you've seen it, yada, yada. It's repeat behaviour, though. And My question to you is this. My last question to you. Other than Richarlison, name me one player who comes off of our bench and can affect a game in an attacking way. Bearing in mind, we're in 4 competitions, playing every 3 or 4 days, and we play 3 up front, and we've got no attacking midfielder. Other than Richarlison, who comes on, scores and assists, and can create?
It'd have to be Sess or Doherty, because, and I'm going to say this.
No. They don't, do they? I'm asking who does. They don't. Who comes on in an attacking capacity and changes the game? Those two have never done that.
Heavy.
No, you can't say that. I'm going to say from an attacking standpoint, Tottenham are limited in terms of depth, but I think that attacking has not been Tottenham's problem, and it hasn't ever been the last 3 or 4 seasons.
No, but Mike, I need you to answer the question at hand. I need you to answer the question, right?
No, and the reason I'm not answering the question is because Tottenham have worse problems than the attack. It's always been the midfield and defense that have let Spurs down.
He's talking about game changers.
No. But Mike, you're not. But Mike, you listen. I will get to the point if you answer the question. You've got to stop this You're Daniel Levy's best friend. You love what comes out of his mouth, right? Listen. Who changes a game in an attacking sense for Spurs? I'm not talking about Kane, Son, Kulusevski start. Let's assume. Who comes off the bench in an attacking sense, can create, can score, can change a game? Give me names.
Faz, Spence is not even proven yet. I don't know why you keep saying Spence.
Spencer's a guy with 4 assists in his career in the Championship. So who comes off the bench, Mike?
I don't know, and that's the thing. Maybe they do need more quality, but in my opinion, from what we've seen, scoring goals has never been the problem for Spurs.
But Mike, I need you to answer the question so I can get to my point. That's how this works. Who comes off the bench and can change a game with goals and assists? Richarlison?
And that's debatable.
I don't know.
Right, hang on. I need to get to the point. Right, Richarlison, Mike. Anyone else?
Not that I know of.
Right.
There we go.
My point, right, is what I'm getting at, is when people want to tell me we've done good business, when people want to tell me trust the process, wait and see what happens, my point is we are playing every 3 or 4 days with 5 substitutes this season in every game, and the only attacking player to come off of our bench that is worth any sort of salt is Richarlison. So when you're telling me wait and see what happens, and Conte this and Conte that, Conte is a world-class manager for sure. I'm not knocking that. But where are the options? From this window that you're saying has been really, really, really good, you called this a Champions League window, and yet we've got one attacking option off the bench.
I think that deserves a mic drop, doesn't it?
I'm just saying. No, Lee, every time I ask this question to someone who tells me we've strengthened the squad, no one can name me any players that come on other than Richarlison.
But I don't understand, because it's plain and simple. It's right there for people to see. I don't understand. My 8-year-old son.
I think I'm going to say this. I think it's easier to be critical than it is to think about what a coach and manager can actually do with the squad, and to actually, I think it is.
So he's coaching. So who is he coaching then to be those attacking players? Because you're changing the narrative again. There are no attacking players other than Richarlison in that squad to come off the bench. That's nothing to do with Conte. Who is there?
Obviously, Moura is not the greatest option, but obviously Lucas is there. Perisic can play on the left wing if he has to. He has that versatility. I think Spurs fans have to, open up a little bit and think there are possibilities out there for this team. It's more than
I've just asked you who. I've asked you who, Mike, and you gave me Richarlison, I gave you Richarlison. And then the next best option was Mora, who's averaged 3 goals a season for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So when people tell me we've got this depth in squad, no one can answer me this question. Every fan I ask, no one can answer it.
And Scott M has just pointed it straight out there. If he has to, question mark, that is the problem. It's not a point as if he has to, is we need to. It's not a make do. It's make do, not do.
Yeah, everything, yeah. Just quickly, Mike, are you staying? Are you going? What's your...
No, I got to roll. I have to roll, but you know what? Big up, guy. Thank you for having me. I'm going to say this. Don't be it till you see it.
Yeah, Mike, come back on. I've loved debating with you, man. It's been brilliant. Come back on. Thank you, Mike. Okay, Willie Caff, just quickly. Savva, if you don't think Conte is world class, I'm going to stop it there. I don't think anyone has heard me say I don't think Conte is world class. So I'm not sure what you heard. I just want to quickly go through. Spurs detective has said Inter Milan, Man City and Brighton are all interested in Udogie, but Tottenham have the strength and the will to reach the finish line.
Come on.
There's new words for the list.
Come on, DiMarzio.
Savva.
Yes, go on, mate.
Because I need to shut off and then I've got things to do and stuff.
Go on, mate.
Can I just leave another question for you guys? Because obviously this is Spurs show. Thank you for having me and stuff. It's been a pleasure. Nice to be around you, great people. But as you remember last season, right? You went and beat Manchester City 3-2 at the Etihad, right? What a game. You locked them in a counter-attack. You absolutely killed Manchester City. Then you went and lost to Burnley, right? Right? Hold on. This question is, because I have, obviously, this is the first time I'm in a show. I have recently just started a YouTube channel on that kind of stuff, right? So every time I have a chance to talk, it's just on social media, right? But people doesn't seem to pay attention. But otherwise, you went to lose to Burnley 1-0, yeah? And you guys remember more than anyone that Conte came out and he obviously wasn't happy. He said a lot of things. Same team again, so many years, same players, that kind of stuff, yeah? And then what do you guys think, you all, and the guys in the comment, when Conte, obviously he showed that he wasn't happy with the players he had at Spurs. He's pretty much have the same team, by the way. What do you guys think? Is that, in my opinion, I think that's a warning for Tottenham. What do you guys think when he did that? I know then after that, things all of a sudden was all rose because you had a good stretch, you win games, and let's not forget, that's my opinion only. Again, I think that the reason you finished top 4 last season was not because you did enough. That's only my opinion. You can, call me wherever you want to call me. But from what I saw was seeing a Man United and Arsenal was just too poor. It was very, very bad last season. And then Tottenham obviously had that chance that run they had at the end of the season. Spurs absolute smashing, winning games, scoring goals. And then seeing Arsenal dropping in the last games as well. So Arsenal, at point of the season, Arsenal was pretty much bottom of the table. But my question is for you guys, when Conte came out, was not only once after Burnley game, before that, you lost against Wolves and Southampton, I think?
Yeah, correct.
And I think if I still remember, he obviously showed he's not happy with the squad, same players every year, different manager by the same players. But what do you think, if you have that again this season, do you think Conte will walk away?
Yeah.
Mark, do you want to go first?
I'll answer that because I've got to go in a sec.
Go on, Pete.
I don't. I think he will. I don't think he's walking. I think he will wait till he'll get sacked, or we'll just see out his contract. He's never walked through the season. He's always waited to be tin-tacked because there's a lot of money on the line and everything else. He did it at Chelsea. He was very unhappy there at the start of the season.
As well.
Yeah, he gives it all the purples, but then when it comes down to it, he doesn't walk. He was unhappy at Chelsea. He wanted back in for the second season, didn't get it, moaned, but saw the season out until he got tin-tacked. And that's how he rolls. He will not walk. This motion that he all of a sudden just packs his bags and has it away is for the birds. It doesn't.
He sees it as a failure, doesn't it? If he walks away, it's a failure for him, and he won't do that.
And what he did do at Chelsea to tribunal after that, and then won his case. So he's a man of principle. He will not walk away. He will not be driven away.
And let's be honest, will Levy chance that?
Fair enough.
Well, Levy thinks, as Jose said, Levy is very unique. All sort of the rules of football don't apply at Spurs until Levy. This doesn't happen. Everything that should happen, vice versa.
Yeah, but do you think that that is a warning for the club to bring down the club deserves and the top quality players he wants? Do you think that is a warning for the club?
It will be, but whether they listen or not. I think we could see it. We could struggle on Saturday, and then he could come out and then all guns blazing. Hopefully he does, because then it's time to sort it out. What I would be annoyed about is come the window, at the end of the window, we've not done anything substantial between now and then. Then he starts throwing his toys out the pram after, when the time to do it is done. Hopefully he's doing it already behind the scenes. But what I don't want is the window to close. Then it's like, oh, I'm not happy. Because we all know when Levy gets heat on him, that's when he pulls his finger out and gets his arse in gear. It happened at Man United. As soon as the Levy chant started, that was it. Nuno the P45 was printed out before the end of the game. The only way we get anything happening.
Spot on, man. Definitely.
All right, let's move on. Pete, you were saying you had to go.
I'll catch you, boys.
I'll chat to you later, mate.
Catch you later, mate.
Boys, just quickly before we move on, just wanted to address this. Faz has said, Sav, how much did you know Kulu and Bentancur when they signed for us? As someone who watches every league, knew them very well. I hate to break it to some people, but, you know, Kulusevski plays for Sweden and Juve, and Bentancur played for Uruguay and Juventus for years. So it's not like these were two... Fans are talking like they were completely unknown footballers. I think most people knew who they were. Some of the reactions to the conversation we just had with Mike, saying, Sessegnon, are you serious? Sessegnon is crap. Scott M's got a different take. He said, attacking has been a problem. We scored 30 less goals than City in Liverpool, which is, we'll come back to this in a minute, lads, but this is very true. I think people think because we've scored a lot with two strikers, that makes up for the lack of goals everywhere else. Faz being wrong as normal, saying Spence could come off the bench and score goals and assists, but he doesn't. Mike is a politician. I like Mike. He was a good guy. This guy's having a go at me. He said he's answered. You just don't like the answer. Davinson, the defender. Spence actually had 4 assists in 103 league games in the Championship, but apparently he's our saviour. Let me come to you, Mark. Is it a case with Spurs fans that sometimes we don't want to face the reality? So, for example, when I've asked that question there about who comes off the bench and scores goals, I start getting a list in the comments, as you see, of players that historically never score goals and never assist, but apparently they're the answer. Why can't we be honest? Why do we make these things up in our head to make ourselves feel better?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I absolutely agree. We do. I agree with the notion of, yes, we do need someone who can make a difference, because we've always had someone that can make a difference, actually. And as I said before, I kind of live in hope that I've got a feeling that yes, we will get an attacking midfielder, someone who can, find those little holes, find those little gaps, etc., and someone who can bloody well take set pieces. But my only thing is, which I just got this burning question in my head, is that if we go out, this is what it will cost, and we all know this, it's going to cost upwards of 70 to nearly 80 million pounds to get James Maddison, and we know that, right? Now, everybody keeps gassing up and going, yeah, Maddison. But we're looking at a player, to me, in my eyes, had a good season, before that, but he never gets picked for the England team. He didn't go to the Euros, even after a back of a good season. So my problem is that we're all saying a lot of Spurs fans going, "Oh my God, we paid £60 million for Richarlison." So if we spend, which it will cost, above £70 million for James Maddison, right? That's what it's going to cost. Are we going to then? This is what I don't know about Spurs fans. If he doesn't do what every Spurs fan thinks he's going to do, what it says on the tin, in 3 or 4 games, everybody will be saying, "Oh my God, what a waste of money!" Blah 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 blah. Now,
Mark,
is James Maddison worth above £70 million?
But we're talking about a guy that got 20 goals. Got 20 goal and assists playing for a very poor Leicester team.
Yeah.
If you look at his stats throughout his career,
why did he get the England team?
Because Gareth Southgate does not like flair players. Hence why Foden and Grealish never start. But you can't. If we're looking at creativity and playmakers, you've got an English guy that got 20 goal combinations last season.
Yeah.
Right. Brilliant set pieces. Right foot, left foot. Knows the league. Experience. 25 or 26. Why on earth would that not be a good option? What would be
I'm not saying it's not a good option. It's a great option.
No, I know. I'm just asking you.
I'm saying is that when we're gonna of this fantasy budget of £150 million, which quite frankly nobody really believes. Let's take out the 75 million, which is going to cost to get Maddison, right? We've already spent £60 million of it. We've got no one out, so that leaves a small chunk again which every Spurs fan is saying what we need. And that, because we know, I think we're like sort of blinded. We know these owners are not going to spend that money. I think deep down in their hearts,
that's a completely different point, isn't it? Mark, whether we will spend it or not is the whole crux of this conversation, right? The whole point is, if we're a top club that people tell me are, and we want to challenge, and Conte wants to challenge. If Leicester City turn, and we're just using Maddison as an example, right? Mm-hmm. If a club like Leicester City turn around and went, right, for his 20 goals and assists that you're going to get every season, that's going to cost you 65 million. You pay that. You have to pay that.
Exactly. I said to you the other day, I don't care what Spurs spend on a player. I absolutely don't care what Spurs spend on a player. Go get him. I say go get him. But I'm just worried that when we do that and we spend that, if he has 3 bad games, and we know where it goes, Savva, a lot of Spurs fans are going to turn around and go, "Oh my God, what a waste of money!" And that's my worry. And then get on his back, and then he's going to become a worse player. And also, is he going to come to Spurs anyway? Because I can't see him starting. I just can't see it.
Why in a team that has zero creativity and goals from midfield would we not get James? Why would he not start?
The way Antonio, I mean, you're saying yes, he does have creative in there. So how does he play? How does Conte play?
Conte has always flexed over the years from 3-4-3 and 3-4-1-2. All I hear, not you, but all I hear from Spurs fans is, all of his creativity comes from the wing backs. That's not true. He has creative wing backs, but he always has options in the middle of the park who can assist. At Spurs, we don't have that. So this notion that he wouldn't play is born out of the fact that he hasn't been able to ever do that at Spurs because we do not have a number 10.
So we're happy with his the defensive part of our midfield. Yes. So
for sure. Yeah.
Someone up top someone up top out of Kulusevski, Kane, or Son has got to come out of that team for him to start.
Yeah. Right.
Which one?
Kulusevski.
So now Maddison. Maddison is better than Kulusevski.
But no. See, I don't like it when people do that. That's no. I'm talking about options. Spurs need to have the option. We need to have the option. Hang on. You asked me a question, right?
Yeah.
We need to have the option to go. Some games 3-4-3 will work.
Yes.
Other games you need a playmaker that can make things happen because it's tight.
Yes.
So some games Kulusevski or Richarlison can start in a free. Other games Maddison can start behind the front two.
Yeah.
Maddison could even play from one of the wings if you needed him to. Right?
Yeah.
Hang on, talk amongst yourselves 1 second. Keep going.
Yeah. So go on. Sorry, go on.
No, it's finally no. Go.
No, I was just going to sort of going back to the quality. What Savva was saying as well. You know, so for example, we bring Kulu off. I know what Savva's saying. We've got Maddison that can come straight in, or a player of that same ilk quality, you know, and we know we're not going to all turn around and go, oh shit, we're bringing Lucas on for Kulu because he's coming off, or you know what I mean. So I get what Savva's saying. So it needs to be like for like. I know no two players are the same, but we need to have that right. All right, we're going to have to put Maddison to change the system up. No one's going to batter an eyelid. Oh, we've got Maddison. That's all right. We can do it. Do you know what I mean? That's what we should be striving for. That's what we should be doing. Yeah. So I get what Savva's on about. I do.
That's what you missed a lot. That's what you saw in that last season.
It's options. In games where we can't get behind and we can't break teams going over the top because they don't leave any gaps, you've got to have one bloke that can unlock that door. An Ericsson, a Maddison, a Paqueta. Man City have about 15 of them. You've got to have that, and we have not got that. So it's about options for me. Options.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree.
I just want to address something, right? Faz, dude, give up. Right. Listen, if you keep going on about this, I will block it because it's boring now. Right.
I
brought up stats for Lucas as a forward. Lucas plays normally in a front three. You're bringing up stats for Cucurella, who played the left back for Brighton. There's a huge difference if you can't see it. If you can't understand, Faz, why Spurs need more attacking options, then I really, really, really do worry about our fan base. Charlie, welcome to the chat, mate. Are you good?
Yeah, good, thank you. Can you hear me this time?
Just about. It's very faint, but I can hear you. Are you the person that said in the chat, get me on and I'll explain why this has been a good window?
No. I've only just
okay, fair enough.
I've just got back in, so I've just
no worries, mate. Yeah. What point did you want to make, mate? Go for it.
Yeah, I was just going to come on. I don't know if you guys have seen these new rumours come out about the fullback from Udinese. I'm not sure if you've covered it yet. A dodgy, I think it is. I want to know what you guys think of that, because obviously on the eye of it, I get the point, like one of these one for the futures and all of that. But actually, if you look into this guy, I've seen he's actually one of the better wing backs in Serie A. Yeah. So
can I just quickly say something on that?
Yeah,
I've just read from Damasio. We're interested in him. If we buy him, he's going back out on loan.
Oh, is that right?
And that's my point right there.
Damn.
So he's not ready then.
Going back to his parent club. Yeah. Well,
and again, that begs the question, right, Charlie? Of again, I've got no issue with young players coming in, but I don't know how much this guy's going to cost. What, 20 million? Maybe, I don't know. Everyone wants him. 20
million euros, something.
Right. If we're going to pay 20 million euros for a 19-year-old that's going out on loan again, we paid 15 million last year for Papasaro went out on loan.
And Hill.
And Hill. And yet people are telling me that we haven't got enough money to strengthen the actual first 11. Doesn't that worry you, Charlie?
Yeah, it's just fans kind of. I guess it's just people making it up amongst themselves, because we were told, like, yeah, Champions League football, this so-called injection of cash. There's money there. There's no doubt about it. I think anyone that says we don't have money is just lying at this point. So I think I have no issue, like you said, with going out and getting these prospects and stuff. But that can't just be the whole strategy. It has to be that complemented with kind of players ready for now, like your Perisic's, who can come in and bang, hit the ground running. And yeah, it's just we need, for me, the way I look at it at the moment is we need more Perisic's, we need more Bissoumas, those kind of ilks. I think if we get more of those, it doesn't have to be like at the very, very top, but if we get more of those kind of ilk, I think that will suit us perfectly, because they're kind of the caliber that will come in and just bang, hit the ground running immediately. Big up Stel.
Stel. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
He's in my WhatsApps. He's in my chat. He's stalking me. That's Stelios. Okay, Phil, welcome back to the show. How are you, mate?
How you doing, mate? Well, nice to be on finally. Up and down.
Sorry,
but,
mate.
it's all right. It's not your fault, mate. It's mine as well. I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi, but yeah, how you guys doing? I've been hearing it. Just ambition again.
I can hear you just quickly. Cassidon, I put the link in. You wanted to come onto the show and tell me why we've had a really good window. I've put the link in there, mate. It's fully up to you to either join us and tell us. Phil, what do you make about our depth in goal scoring? Because one of the things I keep hearing is that goal scoring is not the problem, and in a way it's not. Because you know, Kane and Kulu will score goals. But when you look at what the top teams score, they still outscore us considerably because they've got more goals from defense.
Right, first of all, Savva, I'm gonna say this to you brilliantly, yeah. First and foremost, yeah, we need to have somebody who can actually dictate the play and to pass the ball through to Kane, because Kane dropping back is not the answer. Because that means when we have chances in the area, he's not in the area to finish him straight off. So that's why I never liked him dropping back to number 10. Keep him as a number 9. You have somebody playing off him, like a Son or a Richarlison, someone up there, two man front line.
Yep.
But I just don't like Kane dropping back, because the moment, like I said, he drops back, there's no one in the area to finish it. The left wingers and the right wingers, they don't get into the area enough to finish the chances. And when they do, it's like they get a brain fart, so they just can't convert them.
Yeah. No,
but
look, Phil,
we need somebody in there.
You're right.
Can I say something, Sam? Can I just say something about the Kane thing? Does anybody not see that over the last couple of years that the Kane dropping back thing is not... I really don't believe that is a managerial or decision. I think Kane dropping back, and Kane has actually said it himself, Kane dropping back is a Kane decision. Because Kane...
I don't think it is. I think it's a lack of we didn't get a replacement for Ericsson decision. I think we didn't get a replacement for Ericsson decision.
The Kane dropping back started under Jose, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a Jose decision.
Yeah, that's...
But it's also,
but Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte play two different types of football. So Antonio Conte ain't going to come in and go, oh yeah, okay, Harry, you drop back. That's a complete Kane decision. Because Kane has looked at it. Kane is doing it because Kane has looked at it, which is true. That he looks behind and he says he's saying to himself, "There's no fucking quality." No one's
right. So you didn't get a replacement for Ericsson then, innit? Like I said to you, we didn't get a replacement for Ericsson, so therefore he has to drop back and create himself because we as a rich club here didn't want to go out there and buy a creative midfielder when we should have done in the first place. Years later.
Just quickly. Okay, so I just want to address that point. Then Football Frere wants to say something before he goes. Then we'll come to Jonathan, who's just joined the show. Welcome, Jonathan. Jonathan, were you the guy in the chat?
Yeah, I was the one who feels that someone should take Mike's place and defend this fantastic window.
Give me 1 minute. I'll come to you in a
No worries,
minute.
mate. No worries. Go for it.
Give me 1 minute, and then I'll tell you why you're wrong. No, I'm joking. Just
Gingers are never wrong.
Mark, I get what you're saying about it maybe being a conscious Kane decision to drop deep, but I feel that forget the systems that Conte and Jose play. I think both of them have recognised that there isn't anybody else in the club capable of coming deep and dictating play. And they've almost said, right, Kane, drop deep when you can, set up Son. And unfortunately, what that's meant, if you look over the last 3 years since Eriksen left, like Phil said, Kane's numbers in front of goal have got worse because he's the one coming back and dropping deep and no one's setting him up. I'm not saying no one, but you know what I mean. There isn't that regularity.
So then, Savva, we've got to give Conte a little bit of leeway at this moment, because then if he hasn't seen that and he's not going to address that as knowing he's one of the top managers, then that's going to be a failure, isn't it? So surely we've got to hold on and say, we will sign that creative attacking midfielder.
Yeah. I mean, look, I guess we'll see. Just quickly, Football Forever, you need to jump. So what was the last thing you wanted to say, my man?
So we was talking about Maddison. You know, I've seen a lot of people saying, is Maddison worth this price and blah, 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 blah. Just go give 65 million or 7 million, whatever less he's asking for. I'm pretty sure that, that would make Spurs fans happy and wouldn't agree bringing Maddison in. And by having Maddison, Savva just said, 3 years ago you had Eriksen, you didn't have Kane to have to come down and drop it. You would have that correct midfield that would help support Kane a lot, and Kane would just be in there, Like, you don't need to. Kane is a player. He doesn't need to come. You get Maddison in, and you would say that Kane goals would be like he used to score 3 years ago. And the other point is the guy with that comment about Cucurella. I'm sure you guys watched Brighton last season. He was going. He said Cucurella's stats, right? I'm one of that kind of person that I watch football. I never go for the stats, right? Stats for me means nothing. But Cucurella, the season the guy had last year, and also Brighton had a very good season. If Cucurella was at Tottenham with Son and Kane, Cucurella would have at least 10 to 12 assists and about 8 to 10 goals last season.
Okay, well, food for thought. Look,
mate, can I just say one thing beforehand? Football Ferreira, I heard you in the background, and I loved you, mate. You are brilliant. And that dire analysis that you put out there, mate, you're singing my prayers, brother, because I've been saying it for too long already. We've got players in this squad that are passengers that have been here for way too long. And I'm just looking at Davis and I'm looking at Dyer. You've been here 8 years, mate. No.
God bless you all. Thank you for having me, Savva, right?
No, listen, everybody go and follow Football Forever on Instagram and YouTube. Great guy.
I think all the Spurs fans should go in there and do a campaign, bring Maddison in, and you will not regret.
Cheers, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna come over to you. Yeah, I'll chat to you later, mate. I'm gonna come over to you, Jonathan. Just before I do, I love this point, Glenn. Spot on. Our fans turning their nose down at quality players who walk into our side is a big reason why other fans take the piss out of us.
Yep.
I can't agree more, Glenn. I see players like Royal, Sessegnon, Lucas, Davis, Dyer getting bigged up all the time. And then when you name a top player, we get told, oh, where would they play? Would they get in? It baffles me. Jonathan,
hello.
Explain to me, why is this been a brilliant, what's the word you used? An excellent?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been sort of the best window that I can remember, certainly in living memory. And I think that the most important thing is that again, we are improving and we are moving in the right direction. I mean, we took a little sort of like walk down memory lane earlier, and I am a sprightly 38 years old. But I can remember the days like, under Alan Sugar's stewardship when you know, watching Tottenham was so boring because we just lived in mid-table. You know, Darren Anderton, etc., etc. And I'm just very, very happy that we are, you know, not only kind of getting to watch players, you know, obviously like Son, Kane, etc., but we're signing Brazil's number 9. Yves Bissouma is just a fantastic player. Ivan Perisic, serial winner. I'm really confused as to why people are so negative, to be honest. I'm very much looking forward to this season and think we're in a better position than really ever.
Okay. So let me address some of those points then from the other viewpoint. First of all, I think when people say the word negative, I think the negative connotation is all about people's ambitions and the bar they set for themselves.
Sure.
Right? So the bar I set for Tottenham Hotspur for what they charge me as a product, the two don't match. What they charge me and what I get, they charge me Harrods, I get Aldi. Right?
Sure.
So, second of all, Darren Anderton is an absolute legend. Third of all, I'm going to ask this question, and I'm going to go. I'll go into this. When you say we were boring to watch, I think Spurs are boring to watch now. I think we're devastating on the counter attack, but we don't actually play any football. It's not good to watch, is it?
I really struggle to understand how you can find it boring to watch Kane.
Brother, it looks like Rocky format. It looks like we're taking some beatings from other Thiago.
I can't hear like if people are just sort of shouting.
But Jonathan, that I didn't say I find it boring watching Kane and Son. What I said
you did. I mean, they're a part of Tottenham, aren't they?
No. But again, this is where people have to be able to separate subjects. Tottenham as a whole, as an 11, the way we play football, we are a reactive team. Yeah. We are very, very efficient when we are being reactive and when we are counter-attacking teams.
Yeah.
But we're not easy on the eye. We don't play any kind of intricate passing. We don't have any creativity. Son and Kane producing moments is individual. That's not the team. So whilst it's very effective, and I'm not knocking that, it's not great to watch. I
don't necessarily disagree with much of that. You know, I don't. You know, Conte's a winner. You know, as a player, I remember sort of, you know, when he was obviously at Juve. You know, dude was never sort of like particularly pretty to watch. He would just run all day, and you know, to be honest, it was more his like mental capabilities that, you know, made him such a great footballer, rather than necessarily like technical or whatever. And the current iteration of Tottenham is in that Conte mold as a player where we win first. You know, like that's what he's interested in. And
Agreed.
I don't necessarily disagree with you regarding the sort of, you know, awesome to watch. I mean, I'm sure you do still obviously enjoy watching Tottenham. You probably enjoy watching more than me. You've got a bloody channel about it. What's it called? But no, I think that one of the points that you brought up just sort of earlier is one of the things that's been, you know, I think absolutely kind of salient to this discussion. What do you kind of like think, or where do you think Tottenham should be? I mean, do you, is kind of like the expectation, or even the sort of like, I don't know, kind of like the outside hope that we, for example, win the league? Because like if that is kind of what we're looking at, we're basically going up against, you know, countries. So you've essentially got kind of, you know, is it Abu Dhabi who own Manchester City, who effectively have kind of infinite money and have just spent the dumbest amount of money. UEFA have shown time and time again they are not willing to kind of, you know, really back FFP rules. And there's only one Premier League trophy. There's only one team that can win it. And this is the most competitive team in the league in the world. You've got the likes of Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. You've then got like the giants like Man United. There are the Wanderers down the road who, you know, feel that they should be winning things as well. So there's 6 clubs that are in like the most bitter dogfight for, you know, these trophies. And we're up against countries. We're up against, you know, and I think that sort of what I really expect from a window from Tottenham is that we move forwards rather than backwards. Are we making progress? I feel that we are better than we were, before that window? And that's why I look at this window in a very positive light. I think that there is very little argument that we are not moving forwards.
Okay. Just to say, guys, I do need to stop the show in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Sure.
But I do want to answer this. So, okay, first and foremost, Man City are owned by a country, no one else. So I don't see that as the ongoing argument. The nearest challengers to Man City are Liverpool, who have not done it the way that Chelsea and Man City did it. So I don't buy that. When we're talking about this being the most competitive league in the world, stats completely prove you wrong. The last 5 seasons has been Man City and Liverpool, and everyone else is down here. So it's not been competitive. It's been 2 clubs challenging, and everyone.
Look at Germany. Look at look at Spain, etc. Sorry for interrupting. Go for it.
I heard you out, man. I heard you out.
Right. Yeah, no, go for it.
When you look at Spain, again, Spain is normally Real Madrid, Barcelona, and every 3 or 4 years, Atletico make a pretend run at it.
Sure.
When you look at France, abysmal. Germany, pointless. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Italy, now that's competitive. 3 different teams have won it in the last 3 years. The separation between the top teams isn't 20 points a go. But to get to the main crux of your point of what is my expectation of Spurs and why am I disappointed with this window?
Yeah,
I'm not disappointed with this window. It's what I expect from Tottenham. I expect this from Tottenham, so I'm not disappointed. I'm disappointed from the club as a whole, as always.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you why. My expectation, I've got 2 minutes. My expectation is not to win a league at all. Levy just simply does not have that ambition to go and challenge. He doesn't. We've got billionaire owners. We're made of money. We do not have that ambition. Hence why we buy wing backs from the Championship with no Premier League experience instead of going to get a proper player. My expectation from Spurs, yes, is to move forward. Yes. And could you say that we've strengthened the 11? Yeah, in a couple of positions we have. Have we added depth to the squad? No, we haven't at all. We haven't. Right? Have we got options off the bench that really make a difference? No, we haven't. I like the conversation I had with Mike. Other than Richarlison, there isn't anyone that can come off the bench and do anything. And the point for me is Daniel Levy charges us the most in world football to watch our club play football, Jonathan, right? Now, as a fan, yes, I have a choice. Do I pay? Do I not? But there's this little thing called a heart, and your heart rules your head when it comes to the matters of love. Forget work and all that stuff. That's all head. But Tottenham, you love your wife, you love your kids, you love, right?
Well,
so I go to Tottenham. I pay extortionate amounts of money to go to Tottenham. I pay about
because you love your club,
whatever it is, to buy a bloody sausage roll, right? So my point is, for that, we were told, get the stadium, things will change. Get the manager, things will change. Get the training ground, get the Champions League. All of that is in place, mate. All of it. So then when we come out in the window and we're net? Is it 50 million at the moment? And the only real money we've spent is on a striker who's not even going to be one of our first 3 choices. I look at it and go, where's the ambition? So, mate, I'm going to pass back to you, but I am ending the show in 60 seconds.
Yeah, sure. No, I mean, I think that's the main kind of, point of contention is basically the idea of, how much it costs to go and watch Tottenham and therefore what can be kind of like expected from there. My view of it is that basically, we're not going to win the league. We are, for good or ill, and, Leicester obviously won it and we could do, but I am not expecting us to win the league at all. And I don't think it's reasonable to make that expectation. What I expect is improvement, progress, that we are moving in the right direction. And I think we are. I think
Jonathan, can I just say something quick?
Go for it.
What I want, is Spurs to throw down a marker just to say, look, this is who we are. Because it's about time, man. This is who we are. We are a big club, but it's time to act like a big club in all aspects of the big club.
Guys,
the big club making the money. But now, it's the time they need to throw down the marker and say, look, we're going for big mans now. We no longer wanted to play with the.
Phil, guys, if I don't end the show in 30 seconds, I'm going to end up not getting married in 6 weeks. Right? Just really, really quickly, Jonathan, I want a one-word answer, a one-number answer.
Go on.
Where do you think we'll finish this season, mate?
3.5. No. 4 and up. If we finish lower than 4th, I'd be bitterly disappointed, and something must have gone wrong.
You're ultra positive, right?
I'd say I'm positive, but still. Go on.
I'm perceived as toxic and ultra negative, and we both think we're going to finish in the same place. Guys, I must go.
Perspective,
She's
isn't it?
going to kill me. I must go.
I'd like to carry on this conversation in the future. So if you're sort of up for kind of having me on, because I'd like to explore this a little bit more. But it's been great to talk to you anyway, basically.
Listen, everybody, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed already,
thanks for having me, Savva.
Hang on one second.
Thanks.
Subscribe to Savva Talk Spurs. If anyone wants to have a private chat with me about football, please, I don't wish to discuss my personal life with anyone. Please come over to my Instagram, Savva Talk Spurs. Chat to me in there. Thank you very much to everyone in the chat. Much love. I must go. See you later. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Bye. Later.